Welcome, listeners, to the Chronicles of Advaris. This is your Dungeon Master Taff with a quick introduction. We are a group of friends, most of which have been playing D&D together in my garage for a very long time. At the start of this campaign, we began recording our game sessions for preservation, and we decided, why not share them with the world? So what you are now listening to is the third campaign based in the realm of Althar, a country in the World of Advaris where our games take place. There may be a few references back to events from past campaigns here and there, but don't worry, anything relevant will be explained in-game, as some of our players in this campaign are new to Advaris too. As a fair warning, this world can be grim and sometimes bleak, and we do occasionally find ourselves dealing with some dark and heavy themes. And as a final note, you'll have to excuse the audio for the first arc of episodes. We started these recordings with a very rudimentary mic setup that we've since upgraded, so the audio quality does improve massively later on. With that out of the way, thank you for joining us. Now, sit back and enjoy the adventure.
I'm ready.
I'm so ready.
If we're all ready to go,
I think the term is hunky-dory.
let's dive in. Welcome to the new Republic of Althar. A land reborn from the ashes of the Althan Empire that was toppled by an uprising now 10 years ago. Early in his reign, after the tragic death of his wife and unborn child at the hands of a mage, Emperor Devant declared the study of sorcery an act of heresy. Over the next half-century, thousands of magic users were hunted like dogs, torn from their families and put to death. Those who survived went into hiding, fearing that each day might be their last. But in time, resistance emerged. The Archon, an insurgent group of sorcerers and their allies, rose under the leadership of one Amata Vorrigan, driven by a burning ambition to overthrow the Emperor. The dwarves of the conquered kingdom of Doldur, long weary of their subjugation under Devant, soon joined the cause, and united, these forces marched upon the capital. After a brutal and devastating battle in the streets of the city, the Emperor was slain in his own palace by three heroes. Ezreal Rosirius, one of the ancient Eladrin, a race of elves who had originally migrated to Althar from the Fey realm of Anduin. Zacchaeus Lioncourt, a former circus performer who sold his soul to a demon of luck. And Enum Smith, an emissary of Dek, the Forge god. A new age began to dawn. For 4 tumultuous years, Althar teetered on the brink of anarchy in the wake of this upheaval. Finally, a new government was formed. A senate was established, and the Republic of Althar came to be. Both Zacchaeus and Ezreal seemingly vanished, gone from this land without a trace. But Enum remained, taking his seat as both Arch-Cleric of the Grand Forge Temple in Mitterhome, and as the Althan Senate's Speaker of the Faith, representing the interests of Althar's churches and temples. In the 6 years now, since the Republic's founding, change has been slow and fraught with difficulty. While magic can once more be practiced freely, 50 years of deeply ingrained hatred have left a lasting mark on the populace. Many common folk still harbour distrust towards sorcery, forcing those who practice it to do so quietly and with great caution. Althar is a nation in the throes of healing. The scars of the past remain fresh, ugly, and raw, and nowhere are they more evident than the capital. The battle left the city devastated on an unprecedented scale. Hundreds were killed and thousands lost their homes and loved ones, as vast swaths of the city were reduced to rubble and bathed in flame, as the Emperor's lapdog, head Imperial Mage Bryant Kazra, called down fiery devastation upon the city in a desperate final attempt to quell the rebellion, an act that would see his name passed down in infamy. But as efforts to rebuild began, the Senate decided the city needed a new name to mark the beginning of this new era. No longer a symbol of tyranny, the city would be reborn as a sanctuary, a place of healing for the nation, gates open to all. And so, the capital city of Althar became known as Havensreach. And it is there that this next chapter begins. So, it is customary, so I am told, for great tales to have humble beginnings. And so, in the outer city, just outside the eastern wall, on a wet and stormy evening, and pretty much because I've just never done it before in 6 years of DMing, you find yourselves in a tavern.
At least we aren't waking in a courtyard.
At least it's not a courtyard.
What if it's a tavern in a courtyard?
Oh, the tavern has a court.
It is the second day of Oscura Una in the year 7044. 10 years since the fall of the Empire. Nestled in the shadow of the towering black granite walls of Havensreach, where the river trail gently laps at the stones of the bank before flowing into the city proper, stands the Dawn's Rest. The sign above the door boldly proclaims this to be the oldest watering hole in the city. This claim is only half true, a fact known by most locals, for the tavern has been reduced to rubble time and time again, and very little now remains of the original structure. The first tavern on this spot was little more than a humble shack, but when the city was young and unscarred by war, its reputation as a gathering place for soldiers, merchants, scoundrels was cemented early on, and it became a hub of raucous activity. The tavern became an important meeting point during the Elfin Civil War, but it was soon razed by fire, and its patrons barely escaped with their lives. Rebuilt from the ashes, it stood for another few decades, before an unfortunate mishap involving a dwarven drinking game and an errant spell caused much of the structure to collapse into the river.
Fucking dwarves.
Yet again, the tavern was rebuilt, and for a time it flourished, only then to be seized and ransacked by orcs when the city was under siege during the 10-Year War, and then, finally, partially destroyed once more during the uprising that led to the fall of the Empire. The tavern's foundations, however, remained steadfast, and from those stones, the current iteration stands. The tavern now sits low and squat against the riverbank, a narrow cobblestone path leading to the entrance, which is marked by a thick oak door that moans with a heavy creak when opened. Above the door, a faded sign sways in the breeze. Its now barely legible writing bearing the tavern's name and detailing its story. But below it, a newer sign now hangs, freshly painted with a careful hand in bold red letters. No magic, no exceptions. The rain outside threatens to break into a downpour, but inside the Dawn's Rest is warm and homely. The tavern is dimly lit, with flickering lanterns hanging from the ceiling, casting shadows across the room, allowing just enough light to keep the place from feeling too gloomy. The air is thick with the scent of spiced ale and roasting meat, mingled with the damp, earthy smell of the river outside. Each rebuild has left its mark, giving the tavern a mismatched charm. Uneven floors that are a patchwork of ancient stone and worn wooden planks. Walls that lean just a little bit too much to one side, and a blackened bar that has somehow survived every iteration, polished smooth now by generations of hands. A massive hearth dominates one wall, its flames dancing and crackling around a large pot of stew, and on the wall above are hung an assortment of decorative antiques with a large pair of mounted antlers as a centerpiece. Scattered around the hearth are a haphazard assortment of tables and chairs collected from the various eras of the tavern's history, upon a larger of which a group of people are now huddled over a game of dice. Making up the dice players are both regulars of the tavern and a small group of masons who have spent the day toiling over the restoration of some of the stonework on the outer walls. Among this group, which consists primarily of humans, 2 individuals stand out. Harwell, would you like to describe your character, please?
One of those individuals is a stout and kind of sort of skinny-looking dwarf. He doesn't have the burliness and sort of gruffness of a regular dwarf. He is sort of short red hair and a well-kept ginger beard, and very common, plain-looking cloths. Very practical-looking. And on his back, he's got over the bench next to him is a shabby grey cloak. His beard and his the lower garments, his boots and his the tops of his garters are garters. I think I don't know what the right would be. Slacks, perhaps. They're kind of like stained with like a sort of a white, lighter kind of white, powdery kind of colour. You can see he's been hard at work. On his hip is a small hand axe. And he's sipping a beer and kind of wrinkling his nose a little bit, which is a jewelled ring in it.
And sitting opposite him, the other side of the table, on a high bar stool which has been pulled up to accommodate the number of people who have surrounded this scene, his feet dangling and not quite touching the floor. Robbie, would you please describe your character?
Okay, so on this stool, you see this very short and very, very short, like haggard little halfling, wearing very dark clothing, like black jacket, pinstripe trousers, the pinstripes being like juicy, dark red. Juicy is a good word. And they all look too small for him, like he's been wearing them his entire life. Most noticeably, he's wearing a white pearl necklace that clearly doesn't match the getup that he's wearing. He's got bright red eyes and a couple of scars, most prominently a scar going over his left eye. His hair is quite long and messy, with the roots starting black and slowly fading through an orange to red gradient. And lastly, even from looking at him, you can tell he's just a very bubbly, happy-go-lucky character, and like
kind of just like bouncing up and down on the stool a
got
little
the barrel
bit.
on his back, looking like he's just started his first day of school, and he's just trying to
Giant year 7 backpack.
One of these.
Dex roleplay. And you can tell that he's clearly trying to make conversation with everyone that he's encountering.
Okay, so sitting around the table that you're currently at, a dice game has been going on for a little while, which the two of you have decided to now rock up and join, having sort of observed the last few hands. There is a burst of laughter as someone reveals a hand of dice under a little wooden cup and then starts raking in coin from the centre of the table. There's one guy who kind of like throws his dice down to the table, stands up and storms to the bar, and everyone around just kind of points and laughs at him as he walks away. There is this large, sort of tough-looking, balding man with a dark stubble who, when you came over, introduced himself as Garrick. He kind of like slams a hand on the table and joins in with the laughter. It's like, okay, right, dwarf, you pick the next game. What'll it be? What was your name, by the way?
The name's Sigurd.
Sigurd. Sigurd?
That's right. Yeah, you got it, man.
Good name, good strong name. Anyway, well, what'll it be? Demon's Dice, Cannonball, Harvest. What are you feeling?
Oh, that's a good question. How are you for another game of dice?
Aye, yeah.
Dice.
Demon's dice.
Dice it is.
Demon's dice.
Sounds good, yeah.
All right, demon's dice, everyone. And there's kind of a hooray from around the table. They start passing out these six-sided dice. You get handed some as well. It's up to you. Do you know the rules of this game that they're talking about?
No idea.
Okay. Well, I feel like you do, but... So, Demon's Dice is a dice rolling game. Each player gets a set of six-sided dice. You can choose to roll any number of those dice in secret under a cup. And it's basically whoever rolls the highest number out of all of those dice wins, but you get more points the fewer dice you roll. So it's the highest number on like an individual dice. If you roll 5 dice and one of them is a 6, the 6 is your number.
Got it.
But basically you get more points the fewer dice you roll. You're allowed to bluff about it. You can kind of barter with each other and be like, well, I'm only going to roll 1 dice this turn. And that means if you were to roll a 6, you would immediately get 6 points and win the game. First person to 6 points wins. That's essentially how it works.
Okay.
But they start handing out these dice. So, Garrett kind of leans over and pushes these dice over towards you in these little wooden cups. And it's like, okay, first hand then. I think customary for us to all go 6 dice, am I right?
6, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, okay. So he takes his cup and starts rattling it around. You could hear... Make a perception check, both of you.
First roll.
Let's roll.
Middle of the road.
And it's a 10.
Perception, yes.
That's going to be an 11.
An 11. You can hear that there is definitely more than 1 dice in there, but you can't really tell from there. You, Blink, are so distracted by the fact you've been handed these dice and haven't got a clue what is going on in this game that you're not even listening. Garrick starts rattling this thing around. He's like, okay, cups down! And slams his cup down on the table. So... And reveal! And everyone around the table raises the cups at this point. So, both of you, how many dice did you roll?
I rolled all 6.
You did go all 6? Okay.
Yeah.
And what is the highest number that you have amongst those dice? So it's not adding them together, it is whatever
5.
the highest single number is. 5?
6.
6? Okay. See how everyone else
I
did.
started swinging them.
Good stuff.
6 takes it. And there's kind of like a groan as everyone leans back. It's like, okay. And somebody with like a piece of graphite and a like piece of paper marks down 1 point for yourself. So like, alright, 1 point to the dwarf. Okay, second round. How about we make it interesting? 3 dice each?
3.
Yes.
Up to you whether you agree or not to go along with that. But basically, if you roll 3 dice under your cup and you get the highest thing, you're going to get 4 points instead of just 1. Okay, starts rattling the cup.
Wow.
And reveal! And he pulls up, and everyone around the table pulls their cups up.
6.
6 highest.
Yeah.
5.
5.
2 of them.
There is another 6 at the table. Which means you need to look at the next highest number that you've got.
Other 6.
Another 6. You take the 4 points there.
No, you already
No, I rolled all 6 of them.
You roll all 6, you take 1 point.
Aww.
So 1 point is
get
marked down
4.
next to your name. So Sigurd, you've currently got 1 point. You've currently got 1 point.
I'm enjoying myself.
Right. Okay. I'm rolling 1. Garrick puts a single dice. You
rolling
see
1?
him do it. He drops a single dice into his cup and starts
Pretty
shaking it around
confident.
in his hands. Yeah, well, I like to think that luck smiles on me most days. And he slams his cup down. A few people around kind of look at each other. You see a few people take a few dice out of their cup before rolling it. It's up to you whether you want to look out for anyone who might be bluffing about what they're doing or anything like that. But, okay, and reveal! And he pulls up. Sigurd, how many dice did you roll?
2.
2. And what was your highest number?
Highest of 4.
Highest was a 4. How many dice did you roll?
6.
6. What was your highest number?
5.
5. Highest number elsewhere on the table is a 4. You take 1 point.
I don't know what's going on.
You are currently on 2 points. This is really fitting because Rob is the only one here who actually hasn't played this game before.
Great.
Okay, 2 points for Blake, 1 point for Sigurd, no points for anyone else around the table.
Listen, I like to know who I'm gambling with. What's your name, pal?
Hello. I'm Blink.
Blake,
Yes.
you're a happy little fella.
Yeah, it's just it's how I am, isn't it?
All right. Great. Well, how
I
many
like
you throwing?
rolling dice. Rolling dice is fun.
I'll drink to that.
You can see that Garrick is getting like notably frustrated that he hasn't won any points yet.
I just look at Garrick and just go.
Right. How about all the marbles, everyone on one dice? What do you think? It's up to you. And he starts shaking it.
Everyone won?
And a few other people around the table. Somebody just
Don't
like,
hate
no,
the
I'm
player
out,
again."
man. I'm out. And stands up and like starts making his way to the bar.
I might join a professional, so like.
Okay. And reveal. And he raises the cup and everyone around the table does the same. How many dice did you roll, Sigurd?
You won.
What'd you roll?
2.
How many?
6.
6 dice and the highest number was a 6. Okay. You take another single point.
Found the winning strat. He's biding his time.
He's biding his time.
I'm playing the long game.
You can't roll 6 dice every time.
Oh.
And everyone just goes like hushed. You can see there's like a vein in his forehead kind of like pulsing a little bit. And his demeanor is like switched like that. He went from this really like bubbly, like happy kind of like, oh yeah, I'm gambling kind of guy to just like anger. And he's standing there just like pointing at you.
And why
Just
not?
like-
She's not.
Because you're losing.
Make a persuasion check.
10.
10. Yes. Alright. He sits back down. 3 dice. He puts 3 in the cup. The game continues. Onwards. This kind of atmosphere around the table gets a little bit tense after that outburst, but it carries on. Okay, well, everyone roll me a d20 who's playing the dice game, just to see.
13.
13? 5. So Garrick makes a bit of a comeback, takes 3 points on the next round, but give me one more roll.
10.
10. 16. With a final roll of, what would it be, 2 dice to get you to the number of points you need. You take it on a 6 when nobody else rolls one. And out of the 7 people playing the game who've each put in a silver piece, you take 7 silver. You can lose 1 silver.
Fuck you.
I'm afraid.
Welcome to Althar, bitch.
They fucking rob you before you even play the game.
So, the game carries on. The clatter of dice and this raucous laughter from the gamblers mingling with the crackle of the low and dying fire now in the hearth. This noise drowning out the murmur of quiet conversation coming from 2 men sitting on a smaller table nearby. Levi, Kieran, in whichever order you like, would you like to describe your characters?
One of the men sitting at the table is an older man, human, looks to be late-ish 40s, has a kind face. You can see a lot of wrinkle lines around the eyes, lots of smile lines, kind of grey-blue eyes that are quite piercing. They stand out quite a lot. He's got that kind of silver fox thing going on the side of the face.
Oh, yeah.
Chestnut hair with greying kind of streaked through it. He's sat there talking to his companion. He's got a lit pipe that he occasionally just... and a glass of some sort of red liquid. Maybe not a glass in this establishment, but...
Probably like a pewter cup.
yeah, a pewter cup
Yeah.
of some kind of red in-colour liquid. His hair is quite well tamed. He's got some stubble that looks messy, but not through lack of care. Maybe, being on the road for a couple of days, just natural hair growth. He's fairly well dressed. Still got his armour on at the moment, which looks to be like, your sort of basic breastplate, and he's got a sort of a checkerboard tabard of greens. And he's wearing kind of quite muddy riding boots as well. But he's just engaging in quiet conversation with his companion.
And his companion is Levi.
Sat opposite the man he's speaking to is a... We see elvish lineage, but it's not a full elf. Not a pure-blooded elf, or a full elf, with bronze skin. And nothing really much stands out about him. He's got scale mail on, he has his sort of sleeves and his cloak are sort of a very light blue colour with some like lines of white, or like a white undercoat to the cloak. The most shocking part about him is he looks to be middle-aged, probably late 20s, early 30s, but his hair is shock white. His beard, his eyebrows, his hair, all of it is just completely white. And he has a not messy beard, but you see he keeps it sort of under control. Quite often he grooms pretty well. And his hair sort of comes back just to shoulder length, but it's sort of swept back behind him. You can see he has a little brooch on his shoulder that just has a sort of a symbol of a leafless tree. And he is sat there with a mug of ale, just staring at it.
So, the two of you sat at this smaller table, a little way away from the dice game. The fella who kind of tapped out of the game during one of those last few rounds, like stumbles past. He's obviously had a little bit to drink, and his foot catches on the back of your stool, kind of just like pulling you back ever so slightly. And he just stops. He's like, "Sorry, pal," and then carries on to the bar, stumbling on his way. But what are the two of you doing? Are you engaged in conversation? Are you just sort of to yourselves?
It's like, I'm telling you, this is the finest place outside of the city, so that you can get some warm food without breaking a silver.
Do the drunks, do they matter at all?
What?
The drunks, they walking about, they hit me.
Well, yes, it's going to happen, but you're a big boy.
I'd
Surely it does not bother you that much.
Yeah, I'd rather not be struck by
Would you
strangers.
like to swap seats? Would that make you feel more comfortable?
No, he's going to come back and hit me again. He's going to, or
But
some
no,
other drunk will.
He has gone over there.
Yeah, for now. When are we going?
You see the weather outside. It's not good to travel in it.
Are you scared a little bit of rain?
I know that the rain will get worse. This late into the year.
I don't think the rain will
The
get
sun is
worse.
going down.
No, the rain will not get worse.
How do you know that?
I can't do this fucking accent.
No, you got it. You're doing good.
That was very Norwegian.
Yeah.
Okay, it is
That's
Norwegian.
right.
It is kind of
very Norwegian.
Okay,
It's
cool.
proper Scandinavian.
Practice
yeah.
is practice, is all it is.
You know what? It's your cart.
We are like an hour outside the city. We will be there tomorrow morning.
There's another like uproar of laughter as this game kind of ends. Garrick stands up and like throws this wooden cup to the table and
there
like
he goes.
Um,
stomps over to the bar. He's there for a few moments. He's speaking to the barkeep, who is a man called Roderick, who you spoke to briefly on your way in.
Is he the proprietor?
He is the proprietor. Yes, he is. He's kind of a tall man, like broad-shouldered. He's got dark hair and a dark beard. Kind of a stern face. He's one of those people where if you talk to him for a little while, he kind of starts to warm up a little bit more, and you've kind of managed to talk him into a decent price for a shared room for the evening at this establishment, as the rain was coming in. But you see Garrick stand there at the bar and kind of like lean and exchange a couple of words with Roderick, and then leave with this big wooden tankard of ale, which he heads back to the table with. There is a figure sat just next to where Garrick went up to the bar. And you see him while he's there waiting for his ale, kind of like glancing over his shoulder a couple of times. There's a larger figure, kind of a little bit out of place, sat by the bar. Ryan, would you like to describe your character?
Okay, so sat on a stool
next to Garrick is a very tall figure. The first thing you notice are these glistening green horns against the candlelight, almost translucent, as well as these tiny little speckles of green rock that seem to almost float. They look like they're floating around the horns, and every now and again he'll pick one, kind of scratch, and then flick it back up, and it seems to kind of just carry on in orbit of his head. Now and again he'll glance over his shoulder, and you'll see these piercing slit green eyes that almost glow, and this dark green scaled skin with a massive long snout, sharp teeth kind of just over his bottom lip. He seems to be wearing a kind of brass armour, and as he's doing that scratch, every now and again you just hear it that seems to happen with the movement of his left arm. He's wearing scale mail, and perched up next to his, where he sat, is a trident almost the same size as him.
Just kind of like leaning against the bar.
Just leaning against the bar, and he's kind of there, elbows on the bar. Just now and again, as Garrick's staring at him, he's kind of like...
He kind of keeps just trying to make it look like he's not glancing as he's waiting for this ale. But you're quite a bit bigger than he is, and Garrick's a big guy.
Yeah, he's wide-shouldered, so with a long kind of dark black cloak. But just sat there, seems to be sipping out of a cup that looks very similar to this.
There's like a moment where he looks like he's about to say something, and then you kind of look over and lock eyes with him for a second, and he just quickly looks away. And then he takes his ale and immediately makes his way back over to the dice game.
Alright, darling, don't be frightened. Just kind of keep sipping.
So are you just kind of keeping to yourself at the bar? Are you making any other moves?
Just every now and again glancing around, making conversation with the barman probably.
Yeah. So Roderick, who every now and again he's a little bit intrigued by you, and there's a moment where he's kind of over and he's like wiping down this charred and blackened bar which has been polished really, really smooth. And he kind of means, and he's like, "So where does someone like you hail from then?"
Oh, here and about.
What does that mean?
What do you mean, what does it mean?
Well, it means I've never seen anyone like you in my tavern, and
I know, but that does make me interesting, doesn't it?
right, certainly.
Oh, cool. Alright, well, I tell you what, you ask less questions, and I answer less questions, and we kind of reach a middle point. How's that sound?
Sounds alright by me. Do you want another ale?
I would.
Alright.
Yeah. Put it on my tab.
Yeah, will do. And he heads over and he starts pouring you another drink from the barrel. So, the evening continues on in this fashion for a little while. The dice continue rolling, the ale continues flowing, the conversation continues rolling. And the fire in the hearth begins to die. The embers now crackling and their last kind of remnants as these logs begin to burn away. Around 11 o'clock, just before midnight rolls in, the door to the tavern suddenly swings open, letting in a howl of wind and the thunder of the rain, which is now coming down outside in a torrential downpour. A dishevelled-looking man steps inside, dripping wet from the weather. He removes his waxed cloak with a flourish to hang it on a hook near the door. And as he does so, the conversation in the tavern dips to a hush, as all eyes now, the few patrons who remain at this time of night, turn to eye the newcomer. He's a tall, skinny figure, draped in weathered robes of dark indigo that shimmer around the edges with tattered embroidery hanging threadbare in places, that upon inspection, if anyone is looking at him, seem to form a number of small arcane symbols around the edge of the robe. His dark, wet hair clings to his face, framing sharp, angular features and a hint of greying stubble upon his chin. And it is immediately clear that the mere presence of this stranger has set many of the remaining patrons on edge. But the man almost seems to revel in the tension, casting a narrow eye across the room before taking his time to slowly approach the bar and take a seat on a high wooden bar stool, just a few seats down from where you're sat. The two of you who are still sat at the dice table, you can see that Garrick and a few of these men who seem to be his kind of lackeys, he seems to be the kind of ringleader of a small group of them, their eyes are fixed upon this man who's approaching the bar. He pulls up a stool with a and sits. Pint of ale, if you will. And the silence kind of holds for a moment and then breaks. Everything slowly kind of returns to conversation. Garrett kind of nods his head and he's like, hey, another round then? And the dice continue rolling. The murmur of conversation returns. This stranger sits and doesn't say another word until this ale is placed in front of him and pushed towards him. He just sits there, like looking forward and sipping slowly, every now and again casting an eye around the bar. You're the closest person to him.
I'm literally doing what I'm doing to you. I'm just like...
There's a moment where you kind of... Yes?
Don't know, seemed a bit dramatic, didn't it?
What do you mean by that?
Are you a regular?
No, I'm not.
Well, they all seem to know who you were, though.
No. My appearance just seems to draw a bit of attention, something that I'm sure someone like you probably appreciates.
Oh, yeah, people stare all the time. It's a lot. I quite like it, though.
So do I.
Just kind of raise my...
He brings his tankard up and against yours.
Oh, you can be at that point, I'll just look forward.
Now that you see him a little bit closer up, he's older, definitely. He's got crow's feet around his eyes. His eyes are kind of sunken, like you can see the kind of like the sockets around them a little bit, and his this like black hair with these flecks of grey is like sticking to his face from the rain. And he takes a sip of this drink and like kind of shivers for a second, and he looks over at the hearth and he raises a hand, and with a flick of his hand the fire sparks back into life a little bit too much, and it kind of like spills out of the grate and kind of like makes a little rush forwards, and like all the people at the dice table kind of stop and start back and look at the fire and then look towards this stranger who still holds a hand up like this. And he looks over at them and he brings a hand down.
Naughty, mate, you're going to get kicked out.
At that point, Garrick pushes his seat back. The two of you next to him now stands. He kind of shunts the table back a little bit. A few of the dice clatter to the floor. He stands up and points and says, "Oi! Didn't you see the fucking sign?"
Yes, a fair word. We have a bit of a problem.
Yeah, I've noticed this man, the newcomer's a soaking wet man. It seems the weather has gotten worse.
I mean, there's going to be a fight.
Unless we can defuse it. But...
There's like a moment of like eye contact between the two as you look, and you can see this newcomer looks over his shoulder towards Garrick.
Well,
Sort of side eyes the table, and he kind of puts a hand up in what looks to be an apology. And kind of like make a perception check for me.
6.
Not you.
18.
No, he rolled 6 dice.
18.
Yeah.
You can see him kind of like, as he puts his hand down, just this little flourish, and puts his hands back on the bar. Garrick stands there, staring at him for a few seconds, holding this tankard of ale in his hand. Just cunt. Sits back down. The two of you at the table there next to him, he raises his pint to his mouth and takes a long swig.
Sometimes the problem solves itself.
And then he gags for a second and then spits this ale. It drenches the table with this foul-smelling liquid. Doesn't smell like ale. It smells quite distinctly of... Make a perception check.
Piss!
Okay, you voted piss. Shit!
3.
I think that's a 7.
Okay, 7. It stinks, whatever it is. And as Garrick's kind of spitting and spluttering, one of the other guys who's been playing dice with you grabs the tankard and... It's piss! It's fucking piss! And like...
That's disgusting.
Immediately the dice players...
I wouldn't say the beer's that bad here. Like, come on, man.
Just fall about laughing, like pointing and jeering at Garrick, who has like clearly become the butt of a joke
It's
here.
quite funny, mind.
So that is why I stick to his
Piss!
And immediately Garrick slams both fists on the table, causing the dice to scatter to the ground. He stands and pushes the table back. Again, more dice fall. And he storms over towards the bar.
Oh dear.
Towards where the sorcerer, the newcomer, is sat next to you, who turns slowly to look at him over his shoulder. This expression of just cold indifference on his face.
I gotta ask, was it worth it?
And he looks at you for a second as Garrick's coming over and just goes... Looks back at him. Garrick storms towards him. You sort think you can do whatever the fuck you like, don't you? Walking into our spot thinking you own the fucking place. Well, guess what? You're not fucking welcome here. And you never will be. And the sorcerer kind of gives him a smug smile and stands, pushes the seat back a little bit. Easy now. Just a bit of harmless fun. I'll show you fun, Garrick says, and he pulls a dagger out from his belt.
So,
Okay.
whoa, okay.
No, everybody, maybe we all calm down a little bit.
I just stand up at that point.
I head over as well.
There's a sudden kind of like hush. That was all eyes are focused on what's going on here. And as you say that, do you say that loud enough for kind of everyone in the area
Kinda
to
like,
hear?
just kind of scoot in the chair like, and then get up and say that and be like, perhaps everybody should just calm down
Yeah, boys,
and
come on.
perhaps it can be
This
discussed.
isn't-
As you say that, Garrick like looks over his shoulder towards you. You can see there's a moment where he's like about to say like, "You'll keep out of this" or something like that. You watch in that split second of distraction as the newcomer who is standing there, his eyes shoot up to a lantern that is hanging just above Garrick's head. His hand comes up and with a crackle of energy, this bolt flicks from his fingers and hits the chain holding the lantern aloft. It crashes down onto Garrick's head, dousing him with oil, which is immediately ignited. These flames hungrily spreading across his body. In 1 second, he is aflame. He lets out this blood-curdling scream and begins to wildly swing with the dagger.
As soon as he ignites,
Yeah.
I flick my wrist and like a mist of rain just surrounds Garrick.
Ooh, okay. What are you casting?
I'm casting Elementalist.
Ooh, nice. So it's just like misty rain in the area.
It's just kind of like it's just around him in a 5-foot cube. It's just the air is suddenly very damp and it just like it's like sort of like like misty rain.
Okay.
In the general area.
Give me an Arcana check, if you could.
I'm good at them, I think.
You are.
Oh no, not particularly, but 19.
19. Okay, the flames douse a little bit. He's still on fire, but the flames kind of like quell ever so slightly. He is, however, still screaming. You can see like his beard is on fire, his clothes are on fire, and he is swinging around with this dagger. Everyone who is at the table with you two at the dice table, have you stood up and moved?
I've stood up and started moving over as I cast this spell. Yeah.
You stand and kind of like start moving towards, and Blink, you're still at the table with the dice players?
Yeah.
You can see now
6.
they are all...
6.
They are all now standing up and beginning to reach for whatever weapons they can find. Daggers, swords, whatever they've got with them. One of them pulls out like a kind of club with a couple of like nails hammered through it. and they begin to move immediately towards this sorcerer who's now standing there just watching Garrick burn in front of him. And as they begin to move towards him, he raises a hand, and this tiny little mote of orange, this tiny little marble of glowing orange appears in his hand, and he into the corner of the room. Blink, I'm afraid you are in range of the fireball that he's just cast into the corner.
What's this guy's deal?
Something tells me he might be a somewhat disenfranchised
But-
Imperial Mage.
As he does that, could you all roll initiative?
Oh, lordy lord. Woo, baby. Hey. Fucking snake eyes, boys.
19,
Oh, nice.
so 21.
I'm coming in on a 20 as well.
Oh,
The action. Oh, physical!
Please to place
Oh!
miniatures on here. So the bar is over this way. This is the sorcerer.
Nice.
Blink, I'm afraid you've really come off not very good here. You're in the corner over there where the fireball is about to go off.
Oh dear.
It's not your fault, mate. You just played a bit of dice.
Okay.
Speech does that taste?
Could I please have... Oh, I'm so sorry. He rolled a nat 20 as initiative. Could I please have... Sigurd, your initiative.
20.
20. Ryan's character, whose name we do not yet know.
21.
Nice, okay. Have you... I don't know, I can't remember if you said your name.
You said it.
Yeah, Belzafir. Could I have your...
19.
19. Blink, could I have your initiative?
16.
60.
Oh, we all your
Big
initiative.
rolls here, guys.
Yeah.
And Ismir, could I have your roll?
21.
Those are some crazy first initiative rolls.
We were fucking
We were
ready.
We were waiting.
We're just
we
like-
were waiting for a 6.
Everyone knows what's going to happen, boys.
Okay, unfortunately he did get a 22, which puts him right at the top. We've got Ryan's
Easy
character
bye.
and Ismir, you are sharing an initiative, so it's up to you who wants to go first.
They're just hanging out, that's fine.
Sigurd, you're up next.
You leave
After
us
that, Belzafir, then Blink. Okay, so unfortunately the first thing that happens is this fireball does go off.
Christ.
So,
And that's the end of Blink.
So, this tiny little marble of orange, he just launches it into this corner of the room just here. There are a few more people around this table who've been playing dice, and they're all kind of stood there like reaching for weapons and clamoring around. And we've got... It could have been worse. Marginally. That's 18 damage.
Dex
To me.
Make
So
a
you
dex
need to
save.
make a dex save
2 seconds.
to see if you take full or half.
Just succeed. Just succeed.
Just succeed.
Just succeed.
Right, nat 20.
That's
okay.
okay. You're going to take half that damage, so you're going to take 9 damage.
Still half health you.
It's still half health.
You like dive out of off the table and still get you fighting.
So you see this thing coming towards you, and you just leap to one side. One of the other dice players kind of pulls back. The table topples, and you manage to just crouch and hide yourself under this table as an almighty explosion of fire engulfs this corner of the room.
Okay.
You are now on the floor. You can feel it burning you. You can smell the hair burning. You can feel your arm catching on. And there's this moment where you cry out in pain, and you kind of look up, and around you are a number of now smouldering corpses of people who caught the full brunt of that. There is one guy who's still alive, and then there's you, but he is not looking too good at all.
What was the damage, sorry?
9. 9 fire damage. Next person to act is you. What would you like to do?
Well, we're sharing initiative, though.
Oh yeah, the two of you are together, of course. So, which one of you wants to act first, and what do you want to do?
Broly's? Broly's go first.
Yes, we do.
Throw it off if you want, yeah.
Go on. 18.
1.
Get it out now.
You might like me going first, anyway.
That's right.
Okay.
I think I wasn't going to get involved, and then as soon as a fireball's been launched across
Oh
the
yeah,
room,
it went from 0 to 100 really quick.
yeah.
Yeah. This happened in a few seconds. It was what the fuck is going on? So what are you doing?
Okay, that's how we're going to be.
This corner
Yeah.
this corner of the room is now on.
Brilliant. I sort of get up from my chair,
Nice warm
turn. I'm just gonna look to the sorcerer, the mage, whoever just cast a spell.
Okay.
I'm just gonna touch a little silver cage just hanging around my neck. Sort of it's like a ball. It's like a silver ball that has it's caged. I'm just gonna tap it and just tap my staff on the ground. Just All right, that's enough for you.
Perfect.
Very good.
Can you make a wisdom saving throw for me, please?
Yes, you can. Okay, what's the DC?
13.
I'm going to re-roll that because it came out of the Death Tower.
He's going to choose to
Don't know what
succeed.
it landed on. That is a natural 13.
It's fine. He manages to resist the whole person. So
Oh,
he
okay.
is,
Nice. There's like a moment where you see your hand goes up and he begins to seize up a little bit and then shakes it off. He's now like darting his eyes across the room. You're closest to him. You see like a little bit of a grin come in the corner of his mouth. But is that you? Anything else?
You catch as he shakes as well. As he shakes, like little bits of like morning frost comes off his clothing that was gathering there. No, okay, Belzevere, you're going to have to take this one. I'm just gonna... Wait, is there anyone who's sort of in the throes of dying over here?
You could go and check if you want.
I'm not checking.
What you're seeing
it's
is
just-
some like bodies that are on fire. There are people like huddled on the ground. There's one guy here who seems to have been really badly wounded. Like he's barely hanging on. He's kind of like holding against the wall. You can see one of his arms is burned to the point where you can see the bone of the elbow just there.
Yeah, just let him die. At that.
Yeah. And then there's this little fella who's hiding behind a table which is overturned. So that should be kind of like this.
Oh my god.
That's what you managed to do is you managed to dive behind the table and use it as cover.
burning!
So it's up to you.
5-10. Step back into the corner there.
Okay.
That's my turn.
Cool. Okay. Bringing it to Brian's character.
He's kind of turning around facing the room now, kind of tankard in hand. Don't suppose I can talk you out of this.
He's kind of standing there looking across the room. He is fixated on what's going on. He doesn't even notice what you said.
Alright then. Literally from his left arm, just this... A lot larger than a dagger, just this blade just...
Hell yeah.
And just...
You going in for
Going
him?
for a hit,
Okay. Could you make an attack roll, please?
Oh, I'm right next to him, I think that's...
Yeah, you are right next to him.
Is this guy here, yeah?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
stood by the bar next to Ryan's character.
16 to hit.
16 just hits him. Yes.
Cool.
Okay. Make me a damage roll, please.
7 damage.
7 damage.
So just literally across, like, his side, just...
Okay. You across his back, and and now he looks over to you, and now he is paying attention, very much so.
We're all just trying to enjoy a drink, aren't we? Silly
Like
dickhead.
clutches at this wound, and you can see it like bleeding a little bit from his side, and he looks at you with this desperate eye and looks around the whole place. Anything else you want to do?
Just bonus action, just blade, just back in as he grabs his tankard and just
Takes another swing.
Go on, I dare you.
Okay. Okay, that was you two. It's now Sigurd. What would you like to do?
I am going to, where that table is, I am going to duck down there and just mage armor.
Okay, cool. You place a hand on yourself, and this like shimmering armor appears around you for a second, and then kind of dissipates.
It's like darting. My eyes just darting around the room, just trying to make sure, just trying to see who's alive and who's dead.
Okay. Could you make me a perception check for free action?
No, that's 5.
It's chaos, absolute chaos. There is a fire raging now in the corner of the room. You can see there's an overturned table. The people who were closer to the door are now running to try and get out. But that's all you see. It's just a scene of absolute carnage, like in a second.
Cool. And that's gonna be my turn.
Okay, Belzevere, it is you.
Just all this kicks off just mid-swing, just like okay. Gets up, goes over to his pack, sees a sword, sees bow, looks over his shoulder, grabs the bow, grabs an arrow, and just
Okay, make
how
an
much
attack
an arrow
roll,
at this
please.
mage who has just fucking slaughtered a bunch of people. It's an 11 on there, plus 5, 16.
16 hits AC. Yeah, you're good. Roll me damage.
Yahoo!
So after this one slice from the side from this dragonborn who's been stood next to him, an arrow comes towards him and catches him.
Does savage attack work on range weapons? Ooh. When you hit a target with a weapon, yeah. So
He's going to get attacked savagely.
Savagely.
Well, he shouldn't have been such a little bitch.
You shouldn't have been.
We're all just trying to have a nice drink in this shit that's time.
roll the damage twice and take the higher number. Yes, which I
How
will.
to be rebuilt
That is
again.
7. 7 damage.
7 damage. Okay, thank you.
And also his speed reduced by 10 feet.
Okay.
Until the start of my next turn.
Nice. Okay, remind me of that on his turn.
As he is slowed by my longbow weapon.
One more time.
Very
We're
nice.
coping with a cost.
First time using weapon mastery. Okay. Right, Belzevere, anything else on your turn, or is that it?
That'll be it. Well, I'm the one right next to the fire, aren't I? I'm assuming that's just representative.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
There's fire spreading over here now. Blink, you're very close to it.
Is the table easy to move?
It's a small table you and his mirror on, so yeah, you can move it quite easily.
The one in front of Blink.
The one in front of
Noticing
Blink?
that he's kind of trapped behind
That
it.
would be the biggest table in the place.
Oh,
It's this huge oak thing.
Yeah, fair.
But if you can see that he's trapped behind it, you can definitely go and give it a go.
Can't move that wormwood table.
You
Shit.
look over
Yeah.
for smalls.
Yeah, I'd like to go in front of that table and maybe reach over a hand, just help him climb over on
Okay.
his turn if possible.
Cool. So you head over and you blink, you see this hand appear from the other side of the table.
Come on, I go.
So, Blink, it will be your turn in a second. Right now it is the patrons of the tavern. So, there are people who are now moving for the door over here, running and like pushing past each other. Regular folk, kind of like, women or workmen who have been, just having their drinks for the evening, who just want to get the fuck out of here, whatever is going on. So, that entire area now, everything around the door between those tables is currently difficult terrain. Everyone else who is in here, you've got this fella here who
No need
has
to
been
shove.
very, very badly burned by what's going on. He is on fire right now. And that is enough to take him. He kind of like stumbles against the wall and this flame like crawls up the other side and he looks at it and you just see him pass out from pain.
Oh dear.
He lands to the ground and the fire just begins to spread over him. He is dead. We've also got this guy here who's going to run in and he is going to try with this little cudgel that he's got, try and make a swipe at the sorcerer. There's a definite miss, unfortunately. He just like swings and this sorcerer like steps back from it. Is there anyone else? There's this one. Okay.
Well, just with the candlelight, just silhouette, just.
This one here.
Just metal music.
He is going to make an insight check. He saw you two talking before this happened, and he pulls out a crossbow, and he just kind of looks between the two, and like just. He's gonna fire a crossbow bolt
You can't
at
tell the difference between you two.
He thinks you're in cahoots by the looks of things.
I don't know which one's the real
They
one.
just look the same.
So you rolled a 16 to hit.
Oh, that just hits my AC.
Just hits AC. Shit.
I'll ask, does it help that Ryan's character did slash him with a fucking arm blade thing?
He didn't seem to be looking when that happened.
Foolish man!
Who's the guy that's in the crowd of people though?
He is in the crowd of people, yeah. Oh, so it would be disadvantage. That is
Like
true.
crazy man.
That's true. It would be disadvantage.
Jostling.
Bringing him to a 9, which isn't going to hit you. So he just he looks around and it's like, he's with him! And looses this crossbow bolt, which just into a beam above your head.
Just
doesn't hit you.
No, I'm not though.
As he just gets smashed by someone going past him and his bolt just goes off the other way.
Fucking
but that's
use
it,
your
that's it.
eyes.
Okay, Blink, it is your turn. There's now a hand reaching towards you from behind this overturned table. Fire is spreading around you. You're in a lot of pain from the burns you've just sustained, but what do you want to do?
Thank you. Dive over the table.
Okay, so grasping this hand, you're pulled over and you come to the other side here. I'm going to say that's going to be, you've moved 2 squares. I would call that difficult terrain because you're clambering over this table, so you've moved 20. You've got 10 feet of movement left if you want to use it. Just in time as this fire begins to spread along the floorboards into the spot where you were at just then.
I would have sucked through the court fire.
So, Blink, what do you want to do with your action?
Well, I've done this before. I can do it.
Get out of here, lad. Go.
Burn away, din son! Okay.
I use Scorch and Raise. 19.
Yes, and they're all going for him.
Should I roll all the d20s first and then the attack?
Yeah,
Or
they're
the
3
damage?
separate beams.
Yeah,
That's how they work.
I just
isn't it?
need to move again.
So, what was your first one, sorry?
19.
19 hits. Second one?
14.
14 does not hit, I'm afraid. Third one?
18.
18
Nice.
hits. That's 2
You're
hits.
adding your plus to hit.
Oh,
You will have a spellcasting plus to hit.
You've got a point with the.
So you just hit him like a fucking
Yeah,
train.
I think your
Yeah.
second one. You rolled a 14, but
Yeah,
then
so 18 on the second.
Scorch is
one.
18 hits,
plus 4.
yeah.
You hit all 3?
I did.
All 3, let's
Fuck myself.
go.
That's fine.
That never happens.
Yeah, that has never happened.
66.
That's potentially a lot of damage.
Sorcerer.
I'd like that spell. You'll be using it for the rest of the campaign.
I've got to. When I roll damage for a spell, you can spend 1 sorcery point to roll up to 2 dice, which I will do.
Sorcery power.
That's right. 18, 20, 20
Nice.
fire damage.
20 fire damage. So you launch these 3 motes of flame across the room towards this guy. You standing next to him there, watch, as he like brings an arm up and kind of like takes the impact from all 3.
Oh, okay.
He
I was not expecting that.
stands and he looks. His sleeve doesn't seem to have charred. That's one thing you notice when you're close to him. It looks like it hurt him, and he took a bit of like backlash from it, but like the sleeve hasn't caught fire in any way. Blink, anything else you want to do?
Is there any space by this wall here?
Just in here.
No, where I currently am, is there any more squares, or am I as close to the
You
walls
are as
again?
close to the walls as you can
Then
get. Yeah.
I'll stay where I am.
Okay, cool. You stay there. The fire is quickly spreading behind you. Just bear in mind.
That's fine.
But
I'm
bringing
alright.
us back to
My feet
his
are going like a
turn.
clappers.
So top of the round.
A secret take the turn.
Yes, you could have a 10.
Did you? Oh, yeah, mage armored.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry.
So this sorcerer, this newcomer standing by the bar, kind of like looks around, raises a hand, and out from his like clenched fist, these like wisps of white smoke just billow out into the room, kind of mingling with the smoke that's forming from the fire, and both form these shapes.
Good.
And one of them forms next to you there. The other one forms here. And these 2 spectral shadows now erupt out into the room. And the first one is going in here to Balzafir. I'm just going for the first person you can see. It's going to make an attack against you. It's going for 12 to hit.
Does not hit.
There's a miss. And then the other one, kind of like, you see this like almost like wraith-like form of this thing, like wail at you and close in, and the other one's going to go for you. I don't think that's going to hit with a natural 3. And you just kind of like manage to step out of the way as this thing just lunges past you. The room is now getting very smoky from the fire that's spreading, and from this point on it is going to be lightly obscured. And that is your turn. Either of you, whichever one wants to go first. Either Ismir or the Dragonborn.
Come on, let's stick to the ones we rolled earlier. You just go next.
Okay. I will go 1, 2. Seeing you stabbing with the arm blades, Belzavir being someone I know, and then seeing you fucking unleash a torrent of fucking blast. Right, okay. You, Belzavir, and you. And I'm gonna cast a spell, and you're all gonna be blessed.
Hey, bless up.
Is there any kind of magical effect that occurs? Visible magical effect that occurs as they get blessed or not?
Yeah, not so much a physical one, but as like a caster, and you see like a little vibration in the air. The 3 of you you just get really cold. You just get a shiver up your back, and you're like,
Not nice magic.
Which is a
Wait, do you point at them?
relief.
Yeah, I'm
after
like-
the fire that's spreading
like
through
that.
the room is making
It's
it quite.
it was like behind the table. It's like,
okay, yeah, so you're all blessed. You get a D4 on attack rolls and saving throws.
Very nice.
I need concentration.
Okay, it is now the mysterious Dragonborn's turn. Unless you want to move, Ismir.
I went back towards the door.
Okay, cool. Just
Just stand there.
Ismir gets bags!
Okay.
Right, I'm just gonna grab the trident. You know what, darling? Actually, we're all magic, but we all read the sign, didn't we? And I'm just gonna launch these 3 motes just into the room, which kind of flip and then just come straight back at him. Magic missile.
Nice. Okay, roll your damage.
damage.
Oh, not bad. 10.
10. Okay.
So you literally go out into the room and then just kind of come straight back at him.
They just boom, boom, boom each at a time, like knock him back into the bar. He kind of sprawls back over it and like starts to look up. He's looking a little bit panicked.
Not damage, but when you go to do attack
I'm gonna stand up
you
at
get
that
to add
point.
one of these.
Okay. Just kind of stretch out,
Each
fucking
attack.
all 6'8" of me.
So if I did
just
that,
like,
then I did
and then walk past him and just be like, fuck off. And then just kind of walk this way, past. I'll see, for the sake of cockiness, I'll just take both of them.
Yeah,
the
there's
attacks.
2 opportunity attacks coming at you as you go past. So 1 from the strange shadow creature.
Now
Shootout is a fucking shootout. Shootout's a fucking shootout.
Well, that's the one.
Stock of Western. Stock of Western.
That was a natural 20. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Ouch.
Well, I guess that's the cockiness coming back to bite you.
Yeah, I know.
So sorry. That was nasty. Oh, really bad damage though. You're okay. Okay, that was 8 necrotic damage
Okay.
as this thing hits you,
Yep.
and where are my d4s?
Oh boy.
You feel as you're walking, going past now, like a sapping of your strength, and suddenly your armor just feels a little bit heavier. You lose 1 from your strength score
Nasty.
until your next long rest.
Horrid.
Okay.
But there's also the sorcerer himself, who, as you're going past, just he pulls out what looks like a ritual knife from the belt, and it's just gonna go hit against you after you've hit him. Natural 1, he misses. Okay, that is the end of you two's turn. Sigurd, it's you.
There's one of those things right behind me, isn't there?
It's right
behind me, isn't it? Okay. There's one of those right behind me. I'm going to
funny though.
just disapparate
Okay,
and reappear in the doorway. Can we move there?
just here.
Yes, please.
Okay,
As I cast a Misty Step.
you appeared, I guess, just in front of Ismir then, or next to him.
Right
This
next
is
to
why
him.
I did not bless you.
And then, no, actually, no.
But he didn't sneeze.
New Warlock, and that does a thing.
Well
Let
done,
me
Magnus.
have a look.
There you go.
And can the mist creature make us DC? No, I won't tell the DC. No, yes,
smoky
DC.
creature?
Smoky creature.
Which
yeah.
one of the two? There's 2 of them.
Imagine the closest one.
It's the closest one.
This
yeah.
one.
The closest one to me, from where I left.
Oh, there.
That
Okay,
one.
cool. The Spy, Belsaphir, and Blink.
Yeah, the creature's within 5 feet of the space you left, so that one.
Cool. What's he rolling?
A charisma save. A riz save, please.
Charisma.
Oh, sorry, wisdom save. My bad.
Wisdom save. We have got a 5.
5. Wonderful. It's taunted, meaning that it has got disadvantage on attack rolls against creatures other than me.
That isn't you. Okay.
And then as soon as I land, I'm like, yeah, well, watch this, man. And I just there's a burst of light through the room, and can everything that I don't like, that is all the creatures,
Okay.
and the guy.
The sorcerer, the creatures. What about the patrons?
Not the
Anyone
patrons,
there?
not the
Okay.
patrons. Only the people that we aren't friends with here.
What are they making?
They are making me dexterity saving throw.
Okay. Sorcerer is a dirty 20.
Okay, he saves.
Shadow closest to the bar is a 15.
Ah, fuck. He
Oh wait,
saves.
hold on, no, I was looking at the wrong stat block. Still a 15. Sorry.
Okay, yeah, saves.
And the one over by the other 2 is an 8.
An 8. The one that fails is lit in a green light.
Was that a fairy fire?
It's very fire.
Nice.
Very
Okay.
fine.
So
Sorry, I
fairy
should have said
fire.
fairy fire.
So
that was pretty
advantage
cool.
on any attacks against it.
Yep,
while
dim
this is
light
up.
for a 10-foot radius, and it can't benefit from invisible. Which I
Okay.
feel like these things might be able to. I
So
don't know.
it is shining brightly through the smoke that is now billowing into this room from the fire. And Sigurd, if that's the end of your turn,
That is the animator.
we're on to Belsaphir.
There's a fear that this creature has apparated in front of me. I'm just gonna, oh shit, kind of throw the bow to the other side of the room near the exit and pull out a longsword and just
Okay.
try and run this horrid thing through
Roll to hit.
Are you heading up?
With your blade?
with advantage.
Are you next? Oh, hang on. Where are you at? Are you
I'm right next to it.
That's Belsaphir, he's there.
Oh, I see. Yes, he is, of course he is.
With your light,
advantage.
yeah, your light sphere.
Yeah,
Right.
that's an 18 without modifiers.
18 without modifiers hits.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're
sweet.
good.
And yeah,
It's quite easy to hit actually when you swing for it.
fuck you.
It's just a billow of smoke in front of you, so your sword just kind of goes through.
I'm two-handing it, to be fair, because I don't have... My shield is on my back.
I just look at Ismir. I just turn to Ismir and just go, "Hey man, I think we're the supports."
I don't support
That is
anyone.
12 damage.
Anyone.
12 damage, okay.
Don't support
this thing
anyone.
is
I don't support
seemingly
anyone.
incorporeal. Your sword passes through with ease. It does seem to kind of recoil from it, but it doesn't seem to hit any flesh or anything like that you would expect from hitting a physical target.
Okay, we're on your turn. We're going.
I will then use... Sorry. It's a different action now, isn't it? A utilize action to don my shield.
Okay, cool.
Just kind of reach over to the side of the table and just.
Shield up.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Is that the end of your turn?
That will
movement?
be the end of my turn. No, I want to stay near Blink.
Okay, cool. It is now the.
It's so hard, isn't it?
It's the
The
U effect.
one who shot the crossbow is going to turn this way and try and get out through the door. He comes up towards. Who's there? That's Ismir and Sigurd.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Let me through! And he's just trying to push past you. Are you going to like jump out of the way?
Like,
or-
okay, alright, yeah, no,
Yeah. Okay.
Go.
So you kind of part, and he like
No, I
falls
open
through
my
the
mouth
door.
and I eat his entire essence.
He's clearly quite drunk as well, this guy. But he stumbles through and out, and he just into the mud and like scarpers back to his feet, and he is now out of the tavern at least. Who else have we got? The one over there is dead. There's one more who's next to the sorcerer who's got this cudgel, and he's going to swing for him again. Which hits him. Not very good damage, however, but he does just kind of like clonk him on the side with this little club that he's holding, and then kind of like staggers back a little. The sorcerer glares and lets out a bit of a snarl towards him, and that is their turn. Blink, it's now you. What would you like to do?
Rangefinder, please.
Oh yes.
No.
Here it is. Where would you like it?
Before you do that,
Okay.
Would you like
yeah, the cone.
The cone.
But before you do anything,
Socorro?
so this guy and the creature,
Yes.
are they a size larger than me?
Yeah, you're fine. You can run between their legs. You're good.
Could you get me over as close to the door from? I think it was 25 movement.
Close to the door. Okay, so you don't want to. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. You don't take any penalty to movement. However, this shadow thing does lunge down towards you. I'm just going to do a disadvantage because it's goaded to Sigurd.
That's fine.
Goaded with the Sigurd.
Goaded with the Sigurd.
Sigurd.
That would have been a 14 to hit you.
It does.
It does.
Can I use my reaction? Oh, it's already got disadvantage. Never mind.
Okay. Just coming in towards you.
What the
For
folk?
really crappy damage. That was 4 necrotic damage. And you also lose 1 off your strength score until your next long rest. You feel the strength like sapped out of you by this thing. It feels cold and like horrible. There's this deep unsettlingness to it.
20 strength. Yeah. Well, it's in blue, so you will remember it.
Okay, so you run. This thing does lunge at you as you go, but you make it to the door.
Oh, that was cold. Burning hands.
Burning hands. Right, this is the cone.
Oh
so
yeah. But
That's
I
what
want
the
to
place needs.
point in a way that isn't.
What is it?
You're going to need to be closer than that.
You are going to need to be closer.
Oh, can I? How close can I get?
So you
I tell you what.
You're going to be like in the middle of the room if you want to use
use
them.
20 foot of movement. You got 5 more. Hold on, let me double check. So 5, 10, 15. Yeah, 20.
Tell you what. I'll use a chromatic orb instead.
Cool,
very nice.
cool. That makes sense.
I
So-
target the mean old man.
The mage. Okay. A chromatic orb in your hands. What type of energy are you choosing?
Fire!
Fire!
Oh, I don't wanna. I tell you what.
See if the d4 changes it when you roll the d4.
Have you rolled the d4?
No. Oh, it got caught.
Cagged. 3, so 14 plus 4, 18.
Yeah?
Ah,
That hits
yeah,
him.
it does it.
That hits him. The bless saved you.
The blast did save you.
Cool.
Big bless.
So
Right,
you launch
so-
this chromatic orb over at this guy.
But if I roll any of the save of the d8, it bounces to someone else.
But that's only if you roll.
Oh, god damn.
Double up on
that's
the.
cool.
If you roll the same on the damage die.
Where's my other one? 8, 5, and 7.
Okay,
Big
that's
roll,
pretty good.
but no bouncy.
That's 20.
No bounce.
20 damage.
20 damage.
Okay,
I did like spirit bomb.
so you launch this chromatic orb over at him. It envelops him in fire for a second. He kind of like recoils away from it, pulls this cloak over his head as he comes back.
Not nice, is it? I wouldn't do
But
that again if I
is
were
that
you.
your turn? Anything else you can do?
No.
Okay. Top of the round.
Top of the round.
It is the sorcerer's turn.
Don't like
So
him.
it is now. Ooh, let me see how the fire's looking.
That sounded like someone running in a cartoon then for some reason.
The fire is spreading rapidly now at this point. So the whole outside walls of the tavern are now beginning to spread along there. It's just
So
spreading into the space that creature there is occupying.
Oh, doy.
That whole corner is now ablaze entirely. Anyone who is within 10 feet of any of those is going to take a little bit of fire damage if they are ending their turn there.
Nah.
Ending their turn.
Nah, that's fine.
But he is now going to start sending some spells out. He is going to... Seeing the people who are in the doorway, one is coming over here towards Sigurd.
Don't do that.
Because you can see that you're
Do you reckon you
doing
can
something.
see
That's
good?
cocked. Roll it.
Sigurd.
Okay, that one was 15 to hit.
It's gonna hit, yeah. Just
Okay.
hit.
So this bolt of energy launches towards you. It's going to hit you for 9 force damage. And the second one is coming towards the Dragonborn, who has done the most damage to himself. The second one is coming in for 17 to
Yeah,
hit.
it does.
So that's going to hit you for 11 force damage. These two bolts just in two directions. The smoke is now billowing around the room to a point where everything in the entire room is now heavily obscured.
Ooh.
So it is going to be disadvantage on any attack rolls in the space at all. The room is now just full of smoke from this fire. But it is now these things' turns, and this one
It's spooky there.
this one is going towards this guy just here, and this one is coming towards Belsophia just there. So, against that patron of the tavern, yeah, that's definitely a hit. Okay, this thing, anyone who is close enough to see, I think you're probably the only one. You just see this thing like through the smoke and envelop this guy. There's a muffled scream and then just quiet coming from him entirely. The other one is coming from Belsophia over there. Hitting for 16.
Dead on.
Damn. And that's going to be 7 necrotic damage. And your strength score is reduced by 1.
Getting lucky on these ones.
Yeah, they've all been 1 so far. Okay, that's them, and then...
But I really hope we all have second characters in it.
Oh, shit, okay.
Yeah, definitely second characters.
Oh,
Okay. And
Not
with
second
a
character time already.
natural 20 on
Oh, did
something,
Taff not give you the memo that these were supposed to be bin-off characters?
on something that he was attempting to do, you lose sight of that sorcerer in the smoke. It is now your turn.
His turn.
It could be either or.
Oh yeah, sorry, either or, yeah, I keep forgetting that.
I don't know, are you precious?
No, not precious anymore.
Just like stood there having been hit a few times now. Just literally this arm goes up and you hear like these like kind of cranks and gears and just ching, 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 as this kind of green light just seems to light up through it as I just fucking lightning launcher just at him, just
You don't know where he is. You can make a perception check as an action to try and find him, but you can't find him in the smoke.
Oh, is it like
He nat 20 to stealth roll to hide in the smoke. I'm afraid.
oh fuck it, I'll go for the other I'll go for the
Do you want to go for the shadow
roof.
thing?
Yeah, I'll go for
okay,
the roof.
cool. Go for it.
Is that with disadvantage?
Yes, it is. Heavily obscured. You're shooting smoke in smoke.
Yeah, no, it's not any good. I'll add my bless to it. I don't think it's gonna make a fucking difference.
You never know, these guys don't have very high AC.
10 to hit.
No, it's not that low, unfortunately. No, this
ball
shadow thing
three.
is really hard to discern from the smoke, but
Three.
you launch it out and it lights up the room for a second. You just see the crackling energy through the smoke, and as you're looking around, you can barely see more than a foot in front of your own face at this point. And you're also beginning to like choke it in.
Yeah, I'm literally at that point. I'm just gonna be like, oh, not my monkeys, not my circus. I'm gonna start walking towards the door just to leave.
Okay,
Should be like, no, fuck this.
start making your way through.
Actually, I could probably make it.
You
One,
probably could,
two.
but there's a lot of people in your way. So it's you kind of like come along and stumble into these people who are now in the doorway. Those 3 of them.
boys,
You can
move.
move through them, obviously difficult terrain, but
I could probably get to the doorway.
yeah, I reckon you could. You kind of like push through into this crowd into the corner.
Not dying for some dickhead who thinks he's some big fucking man.
Just there
No,
on the
absolutely
corner.
not.
Okay,
No. Good luck, boys.
Ismir?
I can. It'd be disadvantage if I did attack roll, but I can see this spirit at least.
Yes, I'd say for the sake of knowing where it is on the grid, yeah. You can't get more than disadvantage. So.
No, but it's more of a case of
Yeah.
can I cast a spell that
shit.
requires sight on it?
Ooh. Make a free perception check.
The other one is still fairy
Can I
fire.
use my?
The other one is still very fine.
Can I use my 6 words?
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah. Be smart. Place is gonna fall.
Yes, I'm fouling you very soon. Bells of Fear, come quickly! And I'm gonna.
You better not be
the one
fouling
that's
me,
glowing.
dirty boy.
At the one that's glowing, that's attacking Bells of Fear. I'm
Okay.
Just gonna make a dex save from
Yes,
his.
it can. Natural one.
Dude, running.
Nice! So, as it sort of bluish fire, but like blue and white fire, so it just goes around it for a second.
Okay.
Just dealing 4 radiant damage to it.
4 radiant damage. Okay, and that it doesn't seem to like that very much.
Nice, I'll take that. And then I just be like, step out of the door.
Okay, you kind of back up, like look for the door handle, which is hot in your hand, but you kind of grab it and open the door. The smoke begins to billow out from the thing, but the whole tavern is now ablaze.
Because of my thing, does it actually hurt me because it's hot? No? Okay, cool. I'll step outside then and just
Okay, you kind of stumble backwards, like choking from this smoke. You can tell if you'd spent much longer in this smoke, it probably would have started to choke you. But that's the end of your turn, so
Yeah.
good. It's now you.
There is rain. Does that bother you at all? Or?
No, good. I'm just
gonna turn and look. What can I see? Can I see anything through the smoke? Really?
I'll let you make a perception check as a free action if you want.
Alrighty.
This guy's dead. I forgot to take him off the.
That's a natural 20. Can we get a 20?
Natural 20. You can see this distinct sort of different coloured smoke moving within the dark smoke from the flame. So you can make out that shadow creature.
Yeah, I'm just gonna like turn and look at the door, turn back around, and I just like you hear it before you see it. This just bolt of energy just strikes it. Goes towards it. Maybe it'll strike. Maybe it won't. Who knows? That is an Eldritch Blast. Disadvantages.
Yes, with disadvantage.
Yeah, 8.
8, no, not quite. It
In
just
its
like
shape.
it parts the smoke for a second when it goes through. And there's this line of clear sight that you can see up to the back of the bar, which is burning. You can see that there are bottles of spirits behind the bar with flames beginning to lick at them. Something
It's like a pale blue light, and anyone who it goes past, you just get the slight smell of like fresh grass.
Okay,
and then I'm heading out.
and you're booking out the
Yeah.
door. Okay, Belsaphir, it's you.
I will round around this thing closer to the exit.
Okay, like right here
Yeah, what is it? You scooch around it
wibble wobble.
to there.
to
which is
the
10 feet.
10 feet, take the disengage action and fucking leave.
Okay, running for the door as well. You head out.
Yeah.
Okay. There are no living patrons left. Blink, it's you.
Nice knowing you. Oh, the devil.
You book it, run between the Dragonborn's legs and disappear out that way.
What the fuck?
Bring this back to, and you look
How do you get past the tail?
back into the tavern, just kind of like looking around into what is just now smoke and flame, just like orange light and too much smoke to even see through, and you back up out of the door, sort of like stumbling backwards out without very much else to do. All of you who have now exited this tavern, you stop and turn, and around the outside now of the tavern, surrounding the kind of like garden where the path leads up, is a semicircle of armoured figures who are all standing and pointing large spears directed towards the door of the tavern.
Wait, they're gonna do a lot. Well done, boys.
Back in.
Good
Back in.
stuff. All right, take over. Off we go.
There's like this
There's one
ring of
still in there.
Still in, go get him, boys.
You're right. Best of luck. You're gonna slap him on the shoulder. It's like best of luck, mate. It's all good.
There's a moment where one of them kind of nods to the other, and one of them runs inside, and they're
I would not do that.
Careful, boys. He's dangerous. There's some strange smoke creatures in there as well. Be careful.
Just
It's
start
all right,
shouting
kid. He's
if you
got
go
it
in
covered.
there.
Don't worry about it.
He runs
Come
through
on.
the door, and then you hear this note, wait, coming from like further down the street. So you're now looking out onto a part of the outer city, which is essentially the kind of like towns and farms that surround the east side of the capital over here. You're looking out onto what is a cobbled road. There is the garden of the tavern out ahead in front of you with this kind of like stepping stone path that leads back towards the street. Just there. There are, it looks like maybe about 12 armoured figures surrounding you. And how many of you have been to the capital before? Yeah.
I live here.
So the So most of you would recognise these guards, this armour, as being armour of the Havensreach, which are essentially the city guard. These are the police, in essence, of the capital city.
Excellent, happy days. The bobbies have arrived. We can go on.
They kind of part a little bit, and the voice that sounded a little bit further down the street that told the one man to wait, a figure begins to approach. Seems to be human man. He is very upright, very composed, despite the sort of scene of chaos that surrounds you at the moment. And he carries himself with this air of confidence that matches the handsome features that he carries. He looks to be in his late 30s, probably. Very, very kind of chiseled and refined. He has blonde hair, which is clean and swept casually away from his face, and this kind of like quiffed fringe, and then it falls down past his ears. He has blue eyes which hold a calculating gaze over the scene, and he's dressed in finely tailored robes of a deep navy and silver, embroidered with intricate patterns around the edges. He stands and like folds his hand in front of himself. You can see a silver signet ring adorns one of his fingers, which is a clear tell that this man is of nobility. And he stands with this straight posture, looking over the scene and looking over the scene of the tavern, and looks towards all of you who've stumbled out. What happened here? And one of the guards runs up to him and says, Judicia, they, and he puts a hand up and he says, no. I can see quite clearly these people aren't responsible for this. And he steps forward towards you. And, please, Judicia Advaris. Oh my, what a mess. And there's a crowd beginning to gather now around the outside on the street. People who have fled the tavern, as well as people who've come out of their homes, people who've been sort of heading off like late in the evening, who've heard what's going on, and this crowd is beginning to gather around the outside. Give me just a moment, please. Let me deal with this rabble, and then we can speak. Is that okay? Yeah, okay, please just hold where you are.
Do we need to do this here?
That's where I feel a bit like shit.
Maybe step away from the building a little.
Yeah, you know what? Good idea.
And he kind of ushers you towards the edge of the garden, but like on the other side of the fence, so you're not like on the street.
So I just sort of slunk down by the fence. I was like, I mean, the beer in there was bad, but not that bad.
That is why I stick to the wine.
The man who introduced himself to you as Judicia Advaris turns to this crowd of people who are now surrounding the outside of the tavern. There are growing voices and shouts and murmured conversation going on. People are kind of shouting for each other, knocking on doors and like ushering people to come and look at what's happened and that sort of thing. And as Advaris begins to approach, people start shouting at him. He's obviously a figure that's recognised by people who are watching what's going on, and people start like shouting and pointing at him and sort of coming up to him and calling, and some of the Havensreach come in and like spears out to kind of push people back, just not stabbing them, like the flat of the like
fucking
the
killing them all.
Stab. No, they just kind of start pushing people back from Advaris with the spears.
Not a popular figure then.
And he stands and says, People, please, you are safe. There is no more immediate danger. Rest assured the Havensreach will find the person who was responsible for these horrific attacks, and will put them to justice.
I think
Kind of like looks at the group of people who are now surrounding you, still holding spears on you. They're a little bit lower down, but there's still this air of kind of like, alright, what's going on? And he goes over to one of them and just says, we'll need buckets, water, and then we need to search this place, the whole surrounding area. Take as many men as you can and go. Thank you. And he goes back over. Look, I hear you. I do. This new world is strange. We're
stumbling through it together, but under our current leadership, this is what can happen where things are left unchecked. And now the crowd now whips up into a frenzy. There is jeering and shouting, and you see as the Havensreach begin to push people back even further. That was the wrong thing. Please!
Yeah, it wasn't great, was it?
Please, if you're concerned, and I know you are, I'm making an address tomorrow afternoon in the Triumvirate Square. I will speak at length on this matter. For now, we need to clear the streets. Please, it is not safe to stay near this building. Please, if you will disperse, go back to your homes. And people at this point kind of like look at him, and there's kind of nodding and discussion between themselves, and they start going, the Havensreach are at your service. They will escort you back to your residencies. If you ask them, they are at your beck and call. Please, tomorrow afternoon. Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you. And a few people who are just kind of like trying to get his attention as he goes, and he turns and comes and walks back towards you. And that's where we'll take a break.
Whoa! Break time.
Okay. Where were we? You now stand in the, I suppose in the light bathing the street from what is now the burning wreck of the Dawn's Rest.
Is it still pissing down as well?
It is raining, yeah, and you can. There's a lot of like steam rising from the smoke. You know, the rain's hitting it, and it's kind of like here and there, which is dousing it a little bit, but the building is still very, very damaged.
I want to keep an eye on the building as all that's going on, just to sort of see if I spot anyone like sneaking out of a different exit or anything.
Okay, make a perception check for me.
I am just fixated on the building.
Okay, watching it smolder.
Yeah.
So you stand and you feel the heat of the flames on your face, and it reflects in your eyes. You smell the smoke, and just stand and watch it for a little while. What'd you get? 13. I mean, you don't see anyone leaving. A few of the Havensreach do run inside and, you know, start kind of like trying to at least sweep the building as best they can, but they very quickly stumble back out coughing and spluttering. Smoke is billowing out the inside of the building now. The roof is beginning to collapse, and as you're kind of looking, as they get outside, a big section of it just kind of and a load of embers just shoot up into the night sky. The crowd are starting to disperse, with Judicia Boreas's final words to them, reminding them that he is making an address tomorrow afternoon in the Triumvirate Square. That seems to placate them, and they are sort of, you know, heading out in their various directions. You can see nearby on the street, Roderick, the proprietor, the barkeeper, is standing there, and he's just like looking at it, kind of like head in his hand, just watching it kind of crackle away in front of him. And just like shakes his head and begins to make his way off down the street.
Oh, that's got to be hard.
You will rebuild it.
It's been rebuilt a few times from what I've heard.
Yes, this would be the first time it has been destroyed.
Tell me about it. Yeah, that's several weeks, months maybe of work going down the drain, but you know.
For you paid for it?
I'm paid weekly. So
what day is it? It better not be a Thursday.
Well, that's useful.
If I took 5 minutes, I could tell you what day.
But no, it's the second day.
It's you know.
Oh yeah, it's the second day. It would be it's 5 day week. Yeah.
Yes. That's how you.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't lose too much then.
Well, no, but you know, you still had a fair bit of work left to do. So my calendar is suddenly opened right up.
Oh, well.
Gainful employment.
I wonder if the bar will survive this one.
Yeah, perhaps. It is a tough old thing.
I know, it's a bit weird, isn't it? It's made of wood. This is a fire.
It's the first fire to fell the place.
Alright, well, my bets are going on. That bar is fucked.
A few moments pass, and you can see that Boreas is a little bit further away, and like he's talking to like an old woman who is kind of like seems to be kind of like pleading with him about something, and he's just kind of like trying to calm and make these hand motions, and kind of does that whole dismissive like yes okay, and then kind of like walks away from her as she like kind of like gestures after him and then rolls her eyes and carries on. And he kind of walks back over to you, parts through the guards who were still like holding their weapons. They're not raised on you, but they're making sure you don't go anywhere really until at least you've been spoken to. And he comes through. He says, "I'm terribly, terribly sorry about all of that. Did I introduce myself? I can't remember."
Yes, no, you did. You did just here. Don't worry about it.
So I got to ask: are we being apprehended?
You are witnesses to an event that's taken place here. We're going to need to speak to you.
That's all right. Can we give a statement so we can move on with our merry day?
I would love to take a statement now. However, this is quite a big thing that's happened, and there's quite a few of you. It's probably going to take a little while. I would
at least get out of the rain.
I was about to say we're sat here getting wet.
I would ask if you were to remain in the city, if you may come tomorrow morning to the assembly building and give a statement, perhaps in front of a tribunal there.
That sounds like a case.
Yes.
Why are we under scrutiny?
You're not under scrutiny, but you're witnesses. This is the latest in a series of similar attacks that have been taking place through the city over the previous weeks. Do you have a description of the person responsible?
Yeah, quite old looking. Had a lot of symbols down his attire.
Very distinctive looking cloak.
Thought as much.
Also seems to be loving it, not gonna lie.
His clothing seemed to resist wear from the attacks as well.
You see, there
he was
are...
having a great time.
Was it purple? Purple, I believe.
Blue and silver.
Blue and silver?
Blue and silver is Bryce's robes.
No, sure, okay.
His robes were black.
No.
The sorcerer who came in.
Black.
Oh, were they? Hold on. Let me double check. I might be wrong.
Reread your
I thought he
description.
said purple.
Oh, indigo. Sorry, they were
Indigo.
Oh shit, another colour of blue.
Yeah, I'll give a hearty description of what I saw.
So
Okay.
close.
And he stands there kind of nodding and like looking at you, and then his eyes kind of wander off every now and again, and he nods. Yeah, okay, yes, that seems to fit the profile, I think.
Isn't it blonde hair as well?
Blonde hair is Barias himself.
Oh,
The guy in the bar had black hair.
Is this a known suspect?
Not this particular one, but the robes you described, and the clear intention to cause escalation does fit the pattern.
To be fair, I think he was pissed off by the sign.
He glances over his shoulder. The sign is like hanging on the burning door and just like onto the ground just as you're looking at it.
Alright, well it said don't use no magic, no exceptions.
So it's ironic when you think about it, because the people that got out only did because there were other magic users in the tavern.
This is precisely what I've been trying to get across, is that yes, there are plenty of magic users who are well-intentioned and will use it to help their fellow man and use it to make things flourish and make day-to-day life easier. And then there are people like that who simply think that they are better than everyone else and see a sign like that and believe it is their right to walk into that establishment and... Oh, well...
And don't get me wrong, that's really dangerous and all that, but at the same time, why is that sign there? I thought it was
Half a century of stigma cannot be so easily erased.
No, and I don't disagree with you, but at the same time, it's like it's not illegal, so why do you say no magic users?
Well, it's a private establishment. If there is... The people have their fears. Well, how old are you?
How old am I? Or how old are like we in general?
Generally.
Generally speaking, I don't know.
Were you born during the Scourge? Or did you at least lived through most of it?
Born before.
But that was a long time
It was.
of rather horrific circumstance. These things cannot be so easily forgotten. That you must understand. Legality is one thing. People have their own opinions and their own fears. It is upholding the law is my whole job, but I don't make the laws. I'm a justiciar, I'm a judge. I host trials, I sentence, I see that justice is done.
It's unusual to see a judge doing the legwork.
I happen to be in the outer city on a a patrol with some of the Haven's Watch who are under my command.
And a campaign, it seems.
Listen, well, you said
I believe that there are certain things that need to change.
Which bit now?
just because they're scared don't make it right, is it?
No, it doesn't.
It's
Exactly.
none of my business.
Narrow-minded.
You know, responding to things by your own fears, but still having a stigma is going to cause more issues in the long run.
I agree. I agree
Okay, cool.
wholeheartedly. I do. I want to quell the fear. That's exactly what I want.
Well, listen
You
to
start
this here.
trampling people's civil liberties to impose upon them the laws, and you get people who push back even harder.
Absolutely.
That's alright.
How do you think the Empire fell?
I'll speak for myself here, but yes, I will come and testify in your court tomorrow morning.
Thank you. What was your name?
Sigurd.
Sigurd.
Yes,
Thank you.
We will be there as well.
Your
City
name?
is our destination.
Don't we have to?
Well, I will be there. You can leave if you wish. Hold out a hand. Elsevier von Fame. Just a second.
Shakes it.
Sorry, where are my
Marius,
manners?
Again. Shakes yours as well. You?
Am I under arrest if I don't?
None of you are under arrest. However, I do ask that you remain in the city. If you were to leave the city, then perhaps then there would be a problem. You are key witnesses right now.
Ismir, just cooperate. It is easier.
I know, but I've got places to be,
Doing
mate.
the right
I'm not
thing.
going to
Yeah,
lie.
One
but-
night
yeah.
won't hurt. This is
Yeah.
important.
Yeah, well,
Please.
maybe my business is important as well, you don't know.
Well, it's not like we are sleeping here tonight.
Is your business worth being arrested for?
It wouldn't be the first time, mate.
I won't ask,
That is
and I'm
not
going to
so.
pretend I didn't hear that.
That is not the kind of thing you tell a judge.
Let's.
What was that?
That is not the kind of thing you say.
He doesn't
to a
seem like
judge.
your usual judge. You're not your kind
Let's-
of usual judge, are you? Just got to wink at him.
How long will it take?
A few hours, most likely.
A few hours. Commencing when?
10 o'clock sharp.
10 o'clock sharp. Couple of hours.
I'll have to move some things around, but yes, 10 o'clock.
Alright, I'll tell you what. Alright, I'll cooperate. But you put us up somewhere nice and comfy tonight, yeah?
Make a persuasion check.
It's not my best. 4.
He kind of leans back and looks at you. Nice try. I'm afraid the budget is a little stretched as it is.
Listen, friend. What's your name? Sorry, we've not introduced each
Oh,
other.
sorry, where am I, man? It's Iago. Nice to meet you.
Sigurd. Well, I've got somewhere you can all stay this evening if you'd like. If you're short quarters,
I mean,
a spare bed and a reasonably comfy sofa.
Oh, that's very kind of you.
I appreciate the offer, but we will be able to find lodging elsewhere if there is no room.
Understood?
I'll take you up on it, isn't that alright?
Of course it is, yeah.
It's a bit landlocked, this place.
Very well. 10 o'clock sharp at the assembly building.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm still fixated on the fire.
Will there be refreshments?
There'll be a carafe of water.
That's shit. Alright, that's fine.
10 o'clock.
Right.
No nibbly bits.
No nibbly bits.
They,
And he starts to walk away.
Not even some pastries.
10
I'm
o'clock
just
sharp.
staring right through you.
Like raises a hand. If you do leave the city, we will have a problem.
I love the pecan never mind. Alright.
And he begins to head off into the street. A few of the Haven's Watch kind of follow along, and the ones that were still lingering around you kind of bring down their spears and start to just meander away and start to address the scene of devastation in front of them, beginning clean up and calling in services to try and put out the fire, etc., etc.
Oh well, he was somewhat friendly, wasn't he? You
Nothing
ever had the pecan plats from Kilton,
Nothing.
honestly?
quite like the conversion of bureaucracy.
Anyone after a pint?
Always. Where are we going? Just looking at this burning.
Far away from here.
I think they have stopped serving.
I would agree.
I heard a bell at some point.
Last orders.
Well, if we are intending
For a while,
to
it seemed.
be in the city, we could check out somewhere in there, or we can go our separate ways.
Did
Yeah,
you say?
if you two are going to stay,
If you are a
stay-
local.
I'm doing his accent now.
Alright, welcome.
If you two are gonna stay somewhere else, then why not? We'll go and look for somewhere. We'll stay and drink, and
if
then
you
we'll.
are privy to the better of the watering holes.
Well, yeah. Do you know? It's not every evening we drink here after work. It's just I just fancied it today. So I know a couple of watering holes around.
Alright. Why's the little one still staring at the burning building?
Blake. Blake, you right, mate? You okay, buddy?
Just stare right through you.
What's the matter?
He's not all there. No, not
Smoke inhalation, perhaps.
We're going for a pint, and then we're going to the square tomorrow morning. Did you catch that bit about the? Yeah. Okay, great. So we're going to see you at 10 a.m. tomorrow.
Yes.
You've seen some things, haven't you?
Yes.
Oh, he's...
mainly the fire, but those things.
You've been popping some naughty ones. Look at
I'm
him.
gonna just start walking off.
Okay, all right.
No.
Friend of yours?
Yeah, we've been working together on the pub for the last couple of weeks. He's all right.
Perhaps he's also distraught at the loss of weeks of work.
I'm not gonna lie, it didn't look like
I think it's different for him.
distress, but
Yeah, I think it's different for him.
People grieve
What
in
about
different
you?
ways.
What about me?
are you coming for a pint? Or...
He will come, you just have to be belligerent with him. He's a killjoy.
Oh god, are you boring? I don't do boring.
He prefers brooding.
I'd rather not be done anyway.
You'd rather not be what?
Done.
Oh right, I got it. Hey, sorry, it's the way I talk, innit?
Well,
Alright, that's fine. I like your white hair though. That's cool. You did a thing earlier and it got me all cold. Got me all shivery.
Yeah, that's my magic.
Nice. Maybe you could do it again sometime. I quite enjoyed it. Anyway, where we going?
Follow me. I'll show you somewhere nice
Wonderful.
and warm, but not that warm. You know, a bearable level of warm. And I just sort of lead them out of the confines of the tavern grounds
Okay.
to another tavern that I will probably know of.
And are you kind of heading into the city proper from here?
Back towards towards home. So yes, okay, yeah.
Cool. So you are where you are now in the outer city. You're relatively close to the east gate, which you would know. Someone living in the city. This is the gate that leads into the pleasure district of Havensreach. So you begin making your way towards the walls, which tower above you. These black granite monoliths, which surround the city, looming ominously against the night sky.
Except for one big hole.
Apart from one big hole. They have the city itself, these gothic spires, which cast long shadows from the moonlight along the cobbled roads as you begin to approach. And the east gate itself, a massive ironclad structure, currently closed, but with a small, I suppose, pedestrian door, which can open within the gate itself, which is manned by a couple of the Havensreach at the moment. You head up and they open it for you, seeing that you're just kind of heading into the city without any vehicles or anything like that, without much bother, and you head inside. Into the bustling streets of the pleasure district, which even now at this time of night is still a hive of activity. There are taverns with flickering lanterns in the windows, brothels with velvet curtains lining the entryways, music halls promising entertainment in the streets, and between them these narrow alleys which kind of hide away shadowed shops and stalls and all sorts of oddities. And above them, on the sort of upper levels of a lot of these buildings, are kind of tightly packed residencies, kind of crammed together in this section of the city. But you begin to lead the group through to a tavern that you've been to a few times as you've passed through here, especially in the time before the Dawn's Rest had reopened when you were first working on it. The Blackthorn Inn. Which is
thank you, darling. No, not tonight. Not tonight. No,
you do get a few propositions.
No, it's not forked on the end.
Through.
All right.
But,
I don't want to go to a cafe. Not.
Sorry, I am spoken for, ladies.
But you approach this building, the outside of it, this kind of like blackened, weathered wood on the outside, and a twisted iron sign which seems to spell out the Blackthorn in sort of thorny, twisted raw iron hanging above the door, sort of swinging. The windows are a little bit grimy, with a bit of kind of condensation in the corners. And the interior is kind of dimly lit, but there's enough lantern light spilling out onto the street now. You kind of head in, and you do kind of give each other a bit of a look as this dwarf leads you into this kind of seedy looking place. And the inside is lively. There's music playing. There's a scent of kind of like sour ale and like pipe smoke in the air. But you head over, and there is a booth seat in the corner, this kind of like cushioned seat which surrounds a semicircle around a circular table. And you head over to it, pushing your way through the crowds, and end up taking a seat there.
Alright, interesting establishment.
Yeah, well, you know.
I really know how to pick them. And you frequent this place.
Every now and then, yeah.
It certainly has character.
Smells
Yeah,
good.
that's what I like about it, you know. It's nice to have a bit of variety in your life, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
Just take out a pipe and start fucking
And
packing in some water back.
the grog's not half bad.
Alright.
No, I wouldn't be in here if it wasn't.
No, I do like a grog.
And I head over to the bar, and I purchase 4 tankards of
That is a good time to smoke.
beer, of ale, and I ask for a goblet of wine as well.
I will go up with him, and just hand on the shoulder, and I'll just say to the barman, put it on my tab.
Kind of this man who you are familiar with at this point, right? You are. And he kind of like looks at you. You can tell he hasn't seen anyone like you before. And like just pours these drinks, keep looking over his shoulder towards you, and just putting them down in the bar, pushing them out.
Hey, that is quite. How often has any of us come across a dragon?
Never.
Never ever. Do we know they
Maybe
exist?
if you've spent a lot of time in the port cities, you might have come across one who was like a sailor or like a merchant or something like that.
Okay.
But incredibly rare.
Have I at least heard of them?
You would have heard of
Okay.
them, yes.
That's right. I didn't realise. I didn't realise otherwise I'd have been a lot more shocked about it.
You'd have heard of them, yeah.
I scoop up as many tankers as I can. I guess I probably managed to get 3 hands there, but then I guess.
Okay.
Try and get another drink.
No, of course.
And start heading back over to it. Let's see. I've not come across one of your kind before. And
No, I don't think we're quite as. We're certainly not common
sit
enough.
down and distribute 1 for Blink, 1 for
Thank you very much.
1 for Izmir.
I don't think he's here.
No, it's pretty.
Did you
did you
walk off on your own?
No, I sort of like shimmied myself away from the conversation.
Oh, and you
Did you follow us then?
Have you been kind of like
I
secretly
followed like
following?
yeah,
Oh.
not necessarily secretly, just more of a
Absent-mindedly, kind of.
Yeah.
Okay.
autopilot.
remember what you said about the wine.
Do you sit down at the
thank you
table
so
as well?
much.
for the,
Yeah. I'm just there.
Greatly appreciate
I was
that.
say because if you weren't, I'd like.
No, that is good too.
No, you I have met before. You look familiar.
I believe we have crossed paths in the past. You are hard to forget.
Yeah, no, but yeah, no, you look familiar as well. Business stuff, is it?
Business is good.
Business is good.
Business has changed.
Oh,
But, you know,
still good.
still good, but
Okay, so
less need for the seedier side of things.
You've got to diversify the portfolio, I guess.
Yeah, well,
that's where
when the entire governmental regime falls, things have to take a radical shift.
that's where we've met. Thank God.
Interesting. So what did you do before?
Noted.
Well, I own and run a caravan company
Ah, right.
up and
wow.
down and across the country. And
Oh, wakey. You alright?
Yeah.
I don't know. You look like you're
Fine.
sleeping. It just seems like a weird. It's
I-
not a good place to sleep.
We've not.
It's called rest in your eyes.
Let's
Yeah, no, I
Resting
do
your-
that.
let's just take a step back. None of us have formally introduced each other.
No, that's true.
of course, well, allow me to begin. My name is Belzevir Fontaine, the second. Pleasure to meet you all.
Nice to meet you, Belzevir. And yourself.
Ismir.
Now you try. Yes, there we go.
Do you not get anything else out of him, or is it just?
He is hard work. A good man.
That's
Don't get me
right.
wrong, but like a tough clam, you have to really.
That's fine. I'm a
It's a knife in
dwarf.
there
I'm
too.
more than used to it.
Look, I like to just stay to myself.
I have seen
Okay.
regularly less stubborn dwarfs.
You say your name was Sigurd.
Sigurd, yes.
Is that a Drausen name?
No. I'm Althar, born and bred from Microhome originally.
Ah, lovely city.
Sigurd Stronghammer. surname.
Strongheimer.
Yes.
Elsevier, you know
Yes, the
that.
surname rings a bell.
Yeah. Same. The very same. Yes. The Ken Stronghammer's older brother.
Well. Big shoes to fill, I suppose.
We have a very different life paths.
I don't know a
He
Ken Strongheimer.
he famously armed the resistance.
I've heard the name.
Famous.
Crafty man.
Dropping a bit of a clang in there, but Yeah.
Never had the pleasure myself.
Like a celebrity. He's like good with his hands, isn't he? Yeah.
Yes, blacksmith. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, on the note of more stubborn dwarfs, I bet he'd give you a run for your money, Ismir, in terms of stubbornness.
I smile.
That's impressive.
Yeah, very indeed. To get one on your first day is
That's good, right?
or bad, depending on the context.
Does he ever laugh?
Not once have I
Fair
ever
enough.
seen
Pick a
him.
card.
Oh shit!
Oh, what the fuck?
You are here. Hello. And you are.
Keep it
Careful.
And blink. Alright.
Hello.
Do you remember the card?
I'm looking at it.
Thank you. And shuffle the deck. Hold like this. Like this. Smack you out of your hands. There's one card left in your hand.
The rest are on the floor.
I turn it over. It's a
I assume we'll have to do a check first.
Make a
Is
sleight
this-
of hand check, please.
So, that was fucking easy.
7.
And you can add your proficiency modifier as well.
That's not good too.
I can let you, if you ever do a card trick, sleight of hand check, you can add your proficiency modifier. If it's not already on there.
Where is that?
It'll be a +2
Oh,
at this level. Yeah. It's based on your
Nice.
character level.
That is not your card.
It's not my card. It's not my card.
Did that to me the first day I met him, and when I told him it wasn't the right card, he set it on fire. I was still holding it.
That must
Just gonna
have
slide the card towards you and
I'll clear him all that.
Bit of a
Just
fire.
like on the floor, picking them up from under people's feet.
Normally that works.
I mean,
50-50.
What's your name, you little psychopath?
I'm Blink.
Yep.
As he's saying this as he's kind of like crawling around on the ground, just picking up cards.
Yep.
And you kind of
Nice.
like stop and like look up as you've just like 2 healed boots have just appeared in front of you, and there is this like kind of tavern girl who's looking down on you. So, all right, darling.
And I put myself from underneath the tables.
Hello. You staying the night?
Are we staying the night?
I believe at least
Well-
2 of us are.
I'm not sure. Are you staying the night?
I guess.
Okay.
A room for 3 then, or 3 rooms. I
We'll
should
go back
say.
to your place, aren't we?
Room for
Yeah,
3.
sure.
3
Like-
rooms
Is it
3
far from
rooms
here?
for
3
how
rooms.
many?
3 rooms.
for
for a
3
walk.
people.
Ooh, okay.
Which is the cheaper
Adventurous.
option? Are you guys free?
Oh no, I think there has been some
No,
kind
no,
of
we're
breakdown
going-
in
we're going
communication.
back
We are
tonight.
each needing a single
free.
room.
Free at your house?
Okay, I see.
You're welcome to stay in my house.
All right,
Be
we'll
it
go,
from-
go
I'll
and
go
see the
with
bar
you.
then. And she just
Ply
walks
your
off.
trade, yeah.
Oh, come on, don't
You
be
are-
like that.
I'm
you
going
are
with
very
them.
lovely.
I'm going with them. They're free.
Don't be like
She's disappeared.
Come on,
See,
don't-
I-
oh,
To go
right,
and
no,
bother
I do
someone
not
at
think
another
she is
table.
interested. Well,
Why does everyone think that we are some sort of couple?
What?
Are you not?
Everywhere
I
we
saw
go.
she was just plying her trade.
What? Sorry, I actually.
Oh, I see.
We are in the pleasure district of the city.
Yeah, I perhaps
This will
should've-
happen a lot.
I
They
should
do
have maybe
not actually like
mentioned
you.
that, you know.
I don't frequent this place often.
That's all right. When in
Havensreach?
Idaho.
Strange to say, isn't it?
I don't know. It's
It
like,
still does not roll off the
to be
tongue.
fair-
It's easiest.
what?
You wouldn't visit your with your husband, would you? So
He's not my husband.
We are not married. Or
did
in
anyone
any
else
kind
get
of
that impression?
relationship.
I can't say
What?
that. No, I can't say that. I get the
Hey, look,
impression
I'm
that
Look,
Inside
I think I'm
check.
progressive. I'm open to anything. Alright, it could be anyone they want to be. But no, I didn't get
I'm
that
gonna
impression.
inside check it.
okay.
Oh, okie doke.
No, I didn't think they were married.
23?
23.
Although he has a ring on his
seriously,
finger.
I
he
am
said that he
married,
doesn't
but
get
not
much
to
out of
him.
you, so
Oh, okay,
I
fair
I
enough.
have my
so he
beautiful
assumed
wife
that
back
you
at
were
home.
just travelling together.
Where
Okay,
is
so he
that?
doesn't assume that we're
His home
husbands.
is
Okay, cool.
Arkley. A lovely town, but
That says fucking.
it was hit hard before the Empire and never truly recovered from the Empire.
No, okay, fair enough.
No,
But also being one of the few ports
remember.
still open during the Empire, money trickled down eventually. Anything didn't go to Versailles.
What were we all doing here then? Because you're coastal, I'm coastal.
I'm here to help.
The business
What?
is...
Whoever needs help, I'll help.
a
Oh
mercenary.
god, you are scary.
What?
You are a mercenary.
No. I'm here to help.
Oh, so what?
In
You're...
what way?
I
Are you also here
want
plying
to
your
look
trade?
after people.
Wait a minute now, so you'll help for free?
Yeah, I guess. Yes.
Oh my god, that's mad. Never heard it. Never heard it. In all my years.
It could be
incredibly interesting.
It is admirable.
I mean, if anyone wants to donate,
Depending
I'm
on what
No, I'm good.
help is, I suppose.
And of
I
course,
just
right,
want
yes.
people to have a good life.
What is your
That's
skill
very
set?
kind.
Did you not? See, I don't want to
seems to have
say
a
it
lot
out
of
loud.
fire going
but-
on.
No, I saw that, but if you were building with him, how was that going to help with building something?
Yeah, I mean, being a stonemason is very important. You learn a lot of
Yes.
things.
not
Multiple
not,
skill sets
I'm
is
not
here.
shooting it down, but when you cause explosions and you do fire, how does that help build?
No, you see, you are
Ability.
getting confused. The other mage was the one who made the explosion happen.
No, he used fire too.
Yeah, he used fire, but he wasn't exploding anything.
And it was also a
No,
little bit
but
more
it's still not going
controlled.
to build a
you s-
building.
You see, when
Thanks.
when
no
we're
one's ever said that before.
Everything
Well, I was
he
sat
said-
next to him, and if you got it even slightly wrong, I probably would have got my dick blown off. So
we need to we basically he's coming very handy. You got to heat the motor and you got to fire kilns to make bricks.
And did you see how good I was at the dice?
No, we did not see. We went up the table.
No.
Tell him.
I wasn't.
Tell him how good.
Well, I won, but
Oh.
yeah, you really
Close second.
you really got under Garrick's skin. Poor old
Oh,
Garrick.
he's the reason we were
Rest in-
shouting so much.
in peace.
Yeah. I understand. So lose it.
But to answer your question, after the dissolution of the empire, the business is scaled down somewhat, let off some employees, and still do the occasional carriage work around the country.
no, that makes sense. I've noticed it's quieter as well.
People need to get from place to place, and, well, you know, driving a carriage, it's easy work.
That is
Get
true.
to see the country, get to meet interesting people,
Till the goblins attack on the
till the
roads.
goblins attack on the roads, which they always do.
So you guys know each other long? Or?
Last for years.
Alright, cool.
So
You always say it's only been months. It's not been years.
It feels like years.
You always say that.
So
Because we have a bond in our hearts.
you're working with Belsphere and his company,
you were
no?
married.
No, so what
don't
about you
know.
then, Ismail? What's your bag?
Look, this is very nice, but look, I'd be moving on my way. I'd rather.
Yeah,
not-
that's alright if you want to keep
Don't
yourself.
worry, I will tell you. He is a man who needs to get from place to place. I'm a man who gets people from place to place.
Well, Zephyr,
Oh, look, he dodged you in it. That's not very friendly, is
you
it?
can't just go and tell people about what they.
I
They
don't
do not hear me explicitly
I
say
do not
I
think
did not
it is
want
too
to
far
talk
out
about
of the
this.
realms to say that you travel from place to place. Is that really
Don't
going
worry.
to...
That's my goal.
It's more
Put you
than
in
I
trouble.
said.
You become less of a grouch if you talk to more
Oh, he's saying
interesting
you're
people.
grumpy.
We have Sigurd here.
There's
He
nothing
seems
wrong
like a
with
nice
being
guy. We
What?
have...
There's nothing wrong with being grumpy.
I don't know what that means.
There's no.
Iago here is
I
probably
agree.
one of the more
So I'm not
interesting people
teasing
you
you,
will
I'm
ever
not
see.
teasing.
And
I like
there's
your
this
voice.
guy who is...
Being.
Even for one of your kind, you are an oddity.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
I've heard lots of stories about about dragon folk, and it's
Those of more
Nice to meet one.
reptilian nature tend to be less transparent.
Yeah, I know. I think it's.
Because there are plenty of people who would like to take a look at you.
I'm sure there are.
Your husband's right.
Let me guess, they have to pay the price, right?
Well, no, it's not. It's not even about that, really. It's just if you want to, if you have questions, I'm more than happy to ask. I'm just not a massive fan of people staring, and a lot of people stare. I know I look like a glass crocodile, but it's.
It's been nice actually talking with a lot of people, and the fact that my brother is some famous blacksmith has come up, and you guys haven't grilled me about him or kept going on and on about it, which is nice. So I understand to a degree what it's like.
We are not talking.
No, he's.
We are not talking to him. We are talking to you.
No,
I was about to say, Kenan.
Exactly.
The name is it's.
I didn't know.
Very celebrity, as I said earlier, but
Yeah.
we're not gonna.
Understand me, I am very intrigued. But that is not what we are doing here.
So are we going to go to this thing tomorrow? Is that the plan? Are we going to do it?
I think that'll be best.
One thing
Whoever's
tomorrow.
it's easier to talk to them, get what they need, and
We're not.
Sure. Don't get me wrong. I do agree with you, but let's just keep our keep our hands close to our chest. Well, I'm not going to laugh if they think we had something to do with it.
It's a good idea to get the story straight, right?
We just tell them the truth. We tell them what we know about this mage.
What's going on?
Hopefully they can catch
Where are we going?
Let's just make sure they're not looking for someone to put the blame at.
Tomorrow morning,
He's definitely magic.
We're going to the courthouse on Triumvirate Square to go and talk about the tavern.
The guy who just,
to the judge,
blew
to
up
the
and
judiciary.
murdered and killed a bunch of people.
Yeah. So we're going to need to be on the same. I mean, we will be on the same page, obviously, but just stick to it. Stick to it.
Simply tell them what happened.
Yeah.
Right, look.
It's the easiest thing you can do.
If you balance it on your flat little body and you hold it with your two claws, you get me another drink. All right? We got a deal? Yeah. All right. Off you go. No. Don't be shy. Then no, they're friends.
I think he's gone mad.
Off you go.
I think he's
And
gone
literally
mad.
out of his armour, this tiny little crab comes scuttling out, little brass crab, and he just kind of looks up at you, and then off he goes towards the bar, just crawling down, and off he goes, and you see him kind of go, yeah, just put it on the crab, just put it.
The barman's there like.
Yeah, just honestly, you balance it. He's honestly.
I think he meant tab. Put it on the tab.
No, put it on the tab and then put it on the crab. Easy. Tab and crab. All right, let's go.
The barman just kind of puts this tankard on the back of this little crab. We just kind of like.
He is strong. He's quite strong.
Kind of like balancing this tankard on his back.
He's got on the hang. I think the tankard's it's bigger than he's used to. All right, just give him a break.
Scuttling along the
and only drink shots.
He's like the drink kind of swaying this way and that as the crab kind of tries to keep balance. A little bit sloshes over the side, and then he clambers and
a bit.
ends up bringing it back along the floor and over to the table.
Okay, all right, okay.
Goddamn.
Okay, there's like half left. That's fine. All right, that's fine. Yeah, you kind of got it everywhere. Watch your step. Don't slip. All right, never mind.
And he just scuttles back.
I pass him round. He's so cute.
Tell me, Mr. Iago,
Who's this little
you are
fella?
surprised that people stare at you?
Well, no, he's useful. All right, he's good. And I made him. He's good.
He clambers back up Iago's arm and just like huddles into the pauldron of the armour and just like and becomes one with it.
Yeah, it's like this little he's literally like just a little circle and just.
Nice.
So I get a homunculus as part of Artificer, and he is my homunculus.
It's such a good word.
Homunculus.
Could I try?
Can you try what?
Bar?
Oh, yeah, you get you one if I ask him. Do you want me to ask him?
I want to ask him.
I'm not sure he listened to you. I've never really tried that actually.
What's his name? What's his name?
His name is Crank.
Crank!
He just kind of literally just doesn't like turn or anything.
Have you done that intentionally?
What was that?
Have you done that intentionally?
Yes.
Yeah, very good.
Yes, you know exactly
Yeah, I
why.
know exactly, yeah.
Yes. Crank is crab in Welsh.
Oh,
And it just works so well for
it's
Artificer.
Crank.
that's smart.
It just works so well.
That's so
Crank!
CRANC?
Yeah,
Is it
yeah.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Crank rave.
Not listening.
You ignorant. You're being ignorant.
Think of the
The
remixes
two little
you can-
eyes just pop out of the pauldron of the armour.
Yeah, you're being ignorant. There's no need to be rude.
Have a drink.
Go and talk to the little fella. All right, go on.
He pops out and scuttles down the arm. Across the table towards you, Blink.
Fist
Get
pump
me a
him.
drink.
Fist pump him. Don't be a prick. Come on.
He just
There we go.
Oh, he's so good.
throws your hand.
Just kind of pinches as he does it.
I miss DMing sister. Pretending to be a little robot.
All right, what you want? What
A drink. Whatever you got.
Oh, I got one here. Do you reckon you get it better this time because you only bought me half?
I'm smaller than you.
That's true, actually.
Can
If
I
you bring
get a half ale?
No, don't ask for a half. He bring you a quarter. He's a right little.
And he just starts
Can I get 2 ales?
down the side
It's
of
on
the
your
two
Don't
left.
legs.
ask him for two.
He's
Don't
off.
ask him for two. He's not.
He's
Oh, for
scuttling
fuck's
along the
sake.
floor, up along the side of the bar, and just towards the bar.
Don't make
The bar
him.
guy's just kind of like looking around, and you can just hear.
Don't make him two. Don't make him two. He's being greedy.
Alright.
Don't ask for it. All right.
It's just like pours
Don't
out
fill
there.
it up to the top either. He struggles. All right.
Places it on the little crab, who again is like,
He's trying his hardest, but he's not great.
and then starts scuttling along the bar,
Work in progress.
bringing it back down along the
With 8
floor.
legs, he would be slightly more.
You see this guy kind of like,
Yeah,
oh,
no,
what
it's 'cause
shit?
he hasn't
As this
got- he hasn't
pint
got
just- you can't even see the crab under it, and this pint is just weaving its way between the legs of the people in the room and then to the table, where it just starts going.
Oh,
There we go.
it's so cute.
Special delivery.
Thank you.
That's alright.
It's on your tab, yeah?
Yeah, it's on my tab.
Huge.
It's on my tab, isn't it?
I get it.
The barman's just like
Yeah, of course it is. Exactly. Of course it is.
nodding his head frantically at you, and the crab crawls back up your arm and disappears into the armor.
Alright, he's good.
So, do you all spend much time in the capital?
First time.
First time.
Yes.
No, I am.
Where are you from?
I live here.
I'm from
West side.
West side. A fine city. If you
Yeah.
like to see.
I don't get out much. This is
You are
It's
now.
beautiful down the west
It's
side.
the first time I've been here. I thought I'd leave. Try help some people. Way better help. Better to be. To help people than capital. Big brains.
The place definitely needs help.
It does. Did you see what just happened?
What just happened? Yeah, but
We tried to help.
10 years ago as well. So the whole
Yeah,
flattening.
I didn't have an
and stuff.
epiphany then, so
Yeah. And you were
there we are.
younger.
10 years ago. 17.
17.
Good at maths.
27 now.
Yes.
So young.
Also good at maths.
So very young.
I am, yeah.
With the rest of you. Much
Well-
time in the capital?
Yeah, no, I live here. Yeah, it's
You live
where I live, work here. I've been living here the past sort of 4 or so years. Yeah. Yeah, I came back
Here
over from...
during the event. Then.
No, I wasn't. I was living in Zendra at the time.
Oh,
So, yeah.
far, far away.
Yeah, no, that's where I learned my craft. I'm not only so I'm a sculptor, but I trade properly. But, so I was over there for a bit.
Dedication to the arts is admirable.
Yeah, I wanted to come back home after I learned that it was a bit better.
Yeah, that is a relative term.
While I was over there, obviously the scourge happened while I was over there, and I kind of made a mental note of I can't go home for a long time.
Probably for the best.
Yeah. But yeah, that was me.
Well, I sort of fell into the shit as it was happening, to be honest, but never really know any different.
Were you born here?
No, not. No. No, more,
Don't understand if I'm prying too much. I tend
No,
to
it's alright, it's just that, yeah.
get inquisitive when I'm in my cups.
Yeah, no, that's...
Ah, you do.
It's been a long
Oh,
day.
that's fair enough. No, grew up here. That much I can say. But yeah.
Even though that Izmir here is as cold as his demeanour portrays.
Yeah, I saw it. It was the frost.
It's weird. If you don't start telling us a little bit about yourself, I'm gonna have to start making things up, pal.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Come on.
I don't think that bothers me.
Okay, cool.
Are you sure?
I do not
Okay.
believe
All right.
that
Well, leave
this-
it with me. I'll come up with a great story for you in no time.
You could start with one of my favourite series. Is that his hair is not naturally like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's interesting.
Do you dye it?
No.
I reckon he does.
It is like talking to
I
a brick
can
wall
see.
sometimes.
I'm
no,
sure I
fair
can
enough.
see some roots in there.
But as I said, he is a good man.
I got a question for you. Alright, I got a question.
Another?
Oh, yeah, that's...
Another crab! Crank!
Just pops out of the armor and
No, don't listen. No,
stuff.
don't. No, come back. Hey, come back.
Don't worry.
Hey.
I got this. Who
You
wants a
seem
drink?
to have lost control of your
That's
craft.
because I
I'm
forgot
still
to tell
losing
him. I
my-
forgot to tell him to not
I
listen.
do. Yeah, I do want a drink.
I'm
yes.
gonna run over to the bar. The barman. See if he
What
gives
you
me
were doing,
Yeah,
yeah.
see if he gives me anything.
Yeah, he's
so you head
not
over and
being-
start like imitating the crab, and the barman like eventually turns around and notices you, and just like
Put it on my
He's
tab.
not. He's just go along. Should he be drinking?
No,
Oh, yes.
no, absolutely, probably not. But give him 2. Go on, give him something strong. What have you got?
Has he
looks at
fallen
you,
on his
looks
head
back at
recently,
you,
or-
grabs a
I don't
bottle
know,
of
I've only known him for a
whiskey
couple of
and
days.
like
He
pours
did get blown up
of whiskey and
You
just
did get
Oh,
one.
there we go. Look at
gives
that.
it to you.
I took a nasty hit as well. Actually.
It's a miracle that
I'm
he's
just gonna walk over normal.
There we go.
100% over.
You
Yeah,
are.
you
can-
two
What?
seem quite
Cheers, Blake.
beaten up.
I start trying climbing up your arm.
Oh shit! That's a cup of whiskey. I thought he was going to drink it.
I've been in better, Nick. I've got to be honest, but
Those hard smoke creatures have. Their strikes were not
Yeah, they seem to be.
overly heavy, but
anyone fancy a smoke on the note of which? I need to clear out my lungs.
I've been smoking under this entire time.
All right.
Would you like some tobacco?
Yes, please. Do you want some of mine later? Is it, what do you smoke?
Well, it's the Arky blend.
Fantastic. I think I've had some of this stuff for it. take a little scoop of it and pack it into my pipe.
It is not grown in ugly, but because we are a port town,
He's not my husband.
you get meat from all over the world.
Yes. And I just
Yeah, you spark up the pipe and start
like
puffing
under
on
my
it.
thumb like a fucking Zippo. Just
Have
Nice.
you told your husband that?
It has a
I do not
real
have a husband.
rich kind of like peatiness to it.
oh, it tastes like the earth. You ever eaten dirt as meat? Like taking a great
Can't
big
say
handful of it and just
Is that something you do
No,
often?
can't say I have.
Did you hear the guy
a
sneezing?
dwarf.
Okay.
You could
Oh,
have
I'm
blasted
not
him.
judging.
I
Yes,
am
once or twice.
confused
I
as
think
exactly
that's
the
weird shit.
questions as you
What's
answer.
Hmm?
You entertain the dirt-eating question, but you don't answer a better question than that.
What's the question?
Well, Iago asked you a question and you blew him off.
So I did not.
How rude!
What did you say?
I know where we are. You don't say something like that.
What
I
question
don't
did
know
you
if you were
ask?
drunk too much or not enough.
Well, you're just not paying
I
attention.
haven't drunk anything.
A lot just
I don't
happened.
remember.
Look down, there's like 5
The
full
man
drinks in front of
seconds.
No, I
keep
swear.
ordering
Sorry about it.
No,
I
it
like
it
the
clearly mattered.
No, it doesn't matter.
What
Don't worry
did
about
you ask?
it. Don't worry about it.
I don't think he asked the question,
I did ask
He
the
did ask you
question.
a question.
but he doesn't want to ask it now.
No, it's because
Because
I
he
already,
knows you will not answer.
yeah, it's 'cause I already asked it.
And I don't remember what you asked. He
Yeah.
scattered over to the bar as a crab, and it was a little bit distracting.
That was a bit of a palate cleanser for my
Yeah, I
mind.
know. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I didn't ask you to do that.
It was fun.
I'm sure it was.
I enjoy helping.
Excellent.
And hell, you did, and I pick up my fresh tankard.
Do not, under any circumstances, listen to the little fella again. Okay? Do not trust him.
That's better.
The crab like the arms go back in.
I love him.
I just
I
waved
like
back
that.
at the crab, assuming that he's waving to me.
Last chance to ask the question.
Oh no, I lost interest, mate. Sorry.
I can't remember what his question was, so I would ask you if I remember what it was, but I can't.
I'm not gonna lie, mate. Neither can I. But I thought I'd just play it off as
Yeah,
kind of like a
yeah,
cool, broody sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, not interested anymore. Not interested in you.
You're alright, you're man. You're good. Taking a swig from my tankard.
What about? Okay, what's your favourite colour?
Guess.
Don't say white. Don't say white. Come on. It's got to be more interesting than that.
That's-
That's not a colour anyway. It's like
It's a
grey
shade.
It's just a shade. Exactly. So you can't say white.
Body tone, perhaps.
You're about to say white though, aren't you? Yeah, I can see it in your
He's
eyes.
not going to answer.
No, he's very.
Blue?
He's a decisive person.
I was gonna say,
If he was going to answer, he would have answered within the first 3 seconds.
No, that's for
Alright,
sure.
okay.
How'd you cope with this? Because this is
I-
hard work.
I think that
As I
he
said-
does not care for colours.
He is a good man. He does not thrive in social situations.
Fair enough.
What is your favourite colour?
What is my favourite colour? What do you reckon?
Blue.
No.
Indigo.
No.
Maroon.
Not a chance.
Red.
No.
Lilac.
No.
Green.
No.
Yellow.
No.
I'm just going to see how long I can go.
He's hit all the primaries and secondaries.
It better not be white.
We're gonna have to take
No,
shades.
it's not. It's a shade. We've already established this. Come on.
Did we? Oh, okay. What about you? What's your favourite colour?
That's a good question. Depends which context, really, isn't it?
Does
I
it?
don't understand that word. What's your favourite colour?
I am partial to a yellow.
Oh yeah, you
Straight
seem like a
answer.
yellow sort of guy.
It's a
Actually.
happy colour.
Yeah,
It's a very
no,
happy
it
colour,
is.
yeah. We're learning so much.
Myself,
about
I'm actually a fan
solvents.
of. Personally, I quite like a lilac.
Why not?
Yeah.
I like that.
Wait, did I not say that?
It's a very rich colour, that.
No, you didn't say that.
You're paying. If you're wearing lilac, you're paying.
I
You're
think you
paying
said
top
violet.
dollar.
Oh, you
You
are.
hear the loud chiming of a bell.
Oh, Jesus.
And then a shout of "Last orders!" coming from behind the bar.
Oh, thank God, it is later than I thought.
See, fun fact, they don't mean that.
For us, they mean that.
Not if we're really, really persuasive.
Not if you're close to 7 feet tall and full of teeth.
And I'd rather not persuade anyone. Good night. And I get up.
What's your
and
favourite colour, though?
I ignore you.
Do you want to know?
It's
Hey, alright, what's your favourite? Alright,
It's because
I know the
it's
answer.
definitely white.
head to the bar.
it's definitely white.
'Cause
Yeah.
it's why he
I
didn't
haven't got
answer.
to you anything.
Definitely.
No, you haven't actually asked for a room yet.
One room for me, please.
2 silver.
My favourite colour? Me?
Oh, I
Change
apologize.
your
What is your favourite colour?
Takes it, hands you change.
White.
and then slides a key.
Red!
Pink? Oh, red.
Thank you.
Company.
Come on, my
or-
eyes.
No.
Oh, I thought you were referencing
away.
something
Ah,
else.
he's
You have
he's
red
too
gloves
cool for
on.
that.
Come on.
Red trousers.
Red trousers, yeah.
That's not
Really
what I think,
annoying
but-
I
pinstripes.
suppose if we're going back to your place, we're probably
Difficult, difficult to paint.
Well, thanks for the company this evening.
It was a pleasure. A night spent in good company after a massacre.
Absolutely.
for sure,
Can
for
think
sure.
of worse things.
Hopefully we can clear all that up tomorrow and
Sure we will.
continue on with our lives.
Are we leaving?
Well, we're
So-
going.
I'm with you.
Oh, you coming with us, are you?
It's free.
We got extra
Yeah,
bed?
come on with
Yeah,
Blink.
is that
It's I've got, like I said, I've got a spare bed and the sofa's kind of comfy. So
Fit him in a cupboard.
As for you two, honestly, the tab tends to like disappear as soon as I walk away. So
Well, it's your tab, so I wouldn't be paying it.
no, exactly. That's what I mean. So it'll be fine, but maybe don't order anymore.
I'm a big boy. I can order my own drinks.
Yeah, and then,
But it is late, and the bed is calling me.
for sure.
Well, good night to all of you.
Yes.
Not literally calling me. Good night to all of you. I will see you at the Triumvirate Square tomorrow.
See you tomorrow
Okay.
morning.
tomorrow,
10
to
a.m.
answer some
sharp.
questions. Yeah, we head off.
Very well.
At the bar security room as well.
Cool. So you're charged 2 silver for a room for the night. The barkeep offers you. He says, "Do you want a room with company?"
No, thank you.
He kind
So
of
I
nods his head,
appreciate the offer.
slides a key over towards you, and you head up. Where are the rest of you going?
I am leading them back to the trade ward.
So you leave the Blackthorn and begin to make your way through the Pleasure District, and
Is it
to-
still raining?
It is still raining. Yeah.
Okay.
Through the Pleasure
I,
District and to the centre of the city.
I just control the water droplets above my head to just
Part.
dissipate, kind of like an invisible
Barrel is
Very nice. Very nice.
invisible umbrella.
Kind of like casting a hand as you go. Not many people seem to notice. You get a couple of looks as you do it, but you head through the city, leading you past various streets and various kind of like wards. You can see in the distance as you begin to head through the very centre of the city. After maybe about half an hour or so of walking, the Trades Ward is a fair distance away. The river that runs through the centre of the city, the River Trell, parts around a almost like a man-made island in the centre of the river, with the river parting around it and kind of forming a moat on either side. There's a wall around the outside of it, the same sort of Gothic style as the outer walls of the city, but smaller. The wall on one side, on the kind of south edge of it, is crumbled and broken, and seems to be in the process of being repaired. There's a scaffolding which has been erected across the exterior of it, wood which has been kind of like built up along the side, and it looks like that there's kind of like steady progress being made at repairing this wall now. You know as players what was the Royal Ward, that is now the Civic Ward in the centre of the city, was the direct target of one of the meteors from Brian Cas's Meteor Storm.
Brian Cas.
Which
Brian
brought
Cas's
down
Meteor Storm.
a real big chunk of that central area was destroyed, and it's like over the previous years, it's almost returned to normal. But
A lot of work to do.
yeah, certainly, it's a lot to build. But you head through the city and into the Trades Ward, which is the ward surrounding the North Gate. So it's about an hour's walk from the Pleasure District. By the time you get there, it is late.
That's alright. I've got big legs.
There's taxis in the city.
No, not this time.
it's
Not
You
this
want to go an
time.
hour across the city?
We are
50 gold.
The taxi emperor sits upon his throne of
We
taxis.
are not fucking
You
the
would
economy
know.
by taxis this time.
But
There's a gold piece per footstep, bro.
the carriage service that did transport people through the city now is now a service reserved for the elite.
Price themselves into a corner.
Yep. So
Shit.
yeah, you are on foot, unfortunately.
That's
Damn.
fine.
But about an hour's walk, you head to the Trades Ward in the north area, and on a kind of back street, a few streets over from an establishment called the Polished Goblet, you have a small kind of row of workshops and various artisan buildings that Sigurd now leads the two of you towards. And if you would like to describe what they see as you bring them towards it.
we approached like a fairly small house. It's like a terrace house, kind of like a 2 up 2 down, with these sort of like long, sort of thin looking windows. It looks okay. It's fairly nice. It's not by any means like modest. It's got like a sort of a faded green door. It's a good pushes it open. And yeah, inside it's a fairly modest house. It's the house of someone who earns a good living and is like fairly comfortable. So who wants sofa, who wants the bed?
Which is bigger?
The bed's bigger.
You have the bed.
Now that you know what, that makes a lot of sense.
Well, the sofa's right in here, and I sort of gesture in leading them into a small sort of living area where there's like a fairly nice like it looks like a reclaimed sofa. Like it's obviously been bought second hand, and it's got some pillows and cushions on it, and there are some sort of like cabinets with silverware and things in it, and a small dining table next to the fire where all of Sigurd's cooking utensils are. Pitch yourself up on there. I can grab you some blankets if you want. The outhouse is directly through that door. Then I point towards the back of the room where there's like a large wooden door with a lock on it.
Okay, I'm gonna get my pajamas
Just remember
on.
to lock the door as you come in out.
Okay, I go into the outhouse to put my pajamas on.
Okay.
I've got one of those hats.
It is a small shack-like building in an alleyway behind the building.
Yep, that's
So
fine.
you kind of open again into like the wet, raining street.
Is it a shared house? It probably would be.
Yeah, it'd be between the buildings on this road, yeah. And you would head back out there, like sheltering yourself from the rain, and like pop into this outhouse, and then start getting changed in this tiny little cubicle.
By the way, my costume that I got is the pajamas.
Ah, very good. Okay, are they like footy pajamas? Like little like.
They're like striped ones.
Nice.
But then the hat with the bubble on the end is also striped.
As you come back through the door, like
With slippers. Thank you. I just climb straight in.
You look like a decoration.
Thank you.
I've set out some blankets and stuff on the.
As do you.
I don't know what that means in response, but
Look
sure.
at all the floaty things.
Oh, right, okay,
Some,
fair
like woolen, kind of itchy woolen blankets. They smell a bit mothy, but they're comfortable enough.
I'm used to
Just
it.
gotta keep my moths.
What do they
Nobody
name?
tucks them off in at night.
It saves the rest of your clothes if you just sacrifice a blanket to them.
I'm going to turn in as well. Your room will be straight at the top of the landing, straight across.
Okay, alright. I
I
appreciate it.
hope you're not too uncomfortable. The beds are, as you probably imagine, they're dwarf sized, so
That's alright, mate. I'll hug my knees, it's fine.
Before you go to bed, I've got a name for one of the moths.
are you
Matthew. Good night.
naming the alright, night blink.
Would it be such a bad thing if he died in his sleep?
I mean, yeah, it would be, but what an odd fella.
Yeah, very
He's
weird.
an odd fella.
That's alright, sorry, dark sense of humour. Alright, I'm gonna go try and make myself fit in your bed.
Best of luck, good night. Alright,
Cheers,
So
no, I
it's
appreciate
head into
it.
my room and
How small is the bed in
it's
comparison?
It's dwarf size.
it's dwarf size.
So what's that, like 4 foot?
So yeah,
So-
around
so-
about.
so-
Your feet
so
are
it
like
is-
sticking off the air.
Alright,
Sigurd is about 4'10".
okay. I just take the, blankets and stuff off and just put them on the floor.
Very well.
And then just kind of lie back on the floor. Alright, this'll do. This is fine.
Okay. So, those of you sleeping in the tavern, you find yourselves in small, modest rooms. Nothing fancy. You get the feeling these rooms are used less often for sleeping the night and more often just for enjoying company. They are very, very minimal.
Flinty mattress.
Very, very bare.
I'm gonna
But they all have double beds.
It's more stained on the other side.
Hey, someone
doesn't
bought it
smell of
already.
people fucking.
It's like a
it
custard slice.
Smell like it's been cleaned recently.
Oh, okay, that's good.
I'm going to lay my bedroll onto the
You
bed.
just overread
Ah, okay. You roll out your
Sleep
bedroll
on my
onto the bed.
bedroll on the bed.
But it's certainly not uncomfortable, and you bed down for the night. It's quite late at this point. I think by the time you guys have gone to bed, it's probably early hours of the morning. But you head to sleep, and the rain eventually patters away. You kind of fall asleep to the sound of it on the slate roof above you. It eventually does kind of diminish a little bit.
Genuine, the best way to fall asleep.
Yeah.
You would both hear, after I've shut the door, all you'd hear kind of distantly is.
Today's events have left you a little bit, not so much uneasy, but restless, as you kind of toss and turn a little bit in your bed. And it takes you a while to drop off. Sleep does eventually find you, and when it does, it is not a peaceful one. Your night is plagued with dreams and flashes of the events of the day that has just passed. And amongst them a scent of grass, which just reaches your unconscious senses. And you see in your dream the faces of the people that you met today. First Balsafir's, then Ismir's, then Iago, and then Blink. One at a time. Each of them wreathed in flame, which engulfs their visage, one at a time. Then the flame subsides, and you look upon a meadow with a starlit sky. You stare up at this constellation above you, and you feel a close presence behind, almost as if someone has just leant in to whisper in your ear. You don't turn,
It's not me.
but you hear, "This is the right path." And then your eyes open. Morning has come, and the light spills in from the window into the small room above your workshop. You can hear the sounds of the trade district waking for the morning, people on the streets outside. And you kind of like, it takes you a second, bleary-eyed, to remember that you've got guests in the house. So you kind of pull yourself to your feet and immediately are in that mode of, right, okay, breakfast.
I head downstairs and toss some wood on the fire. I have to kind of go into my workshop to go and find some logs, just bits of wood because I've run out of firewood. I was like hastily kind of come back in, just a little bit flustered, and chuck some logs on the fire and just light them on, light up.
The fire springs into life.
And
Blink.
yeah, all
I was
the
gonna say,
all
would
the
I
while
have jumped? Like,
you're I've made sure to like not try and wake you up. I'm just leaving you sleep. And I chuck some sausages on a
Defend the fruiting of his mouth.
in a skillet hanging above the fire.
Cool.
and then when the sausage
and
smell comes in, I
yeah.
start floating like a tomato.
And I put like a wire rack, put it down, get some pieces of bread, and just morning, Blink. You right, man?
Hello. Are we ready?
Well, I thought
I'm
I'd
in my
fix you
pajamas.
some breakfast first, if you're hungry.
Okie doke. Give me a sec. I can go back to the outhouse and get changed.
You pop back out. It's wet on the floor, but the rain has stopped. And the sky has hints of blue to it amongst the overcast clouds. So you kind of like tread through some puddles and into this outhouse, and
Slippers are wet.
they are a bit.
I'll start coming downstairs at that point.
Okay, cool.
Fucking chloroform. The house is so small, you're like...
Well, you just hear.
Okay. Ouch. That's...
It's I guess the house is the house is normal size. All the furniture is dwarf size.
The house is normal size.
The house is normal size.
You're still here.
Yeah.
Oh fucking hell! All right. Okay, it could have been worse. Could have been smaller.
Morning, Yogi, right, man? I
Yeah,
just
good
started to
morning.
make us some breakfast.
Oh, wonderful. What are we having?
Some sausages and toast.
Oh, excellent. You got any red sauce?
I don't sorry no.
No. Okay, that's all right. Never mind.
Morning.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
You could.
Why are you naked?
Get changed in my workshop.
Oh. Give me a sec.
Why are you naked but only wearing your slippers? That's bizarre.
Good one.
Still got a hat on as well.
Yeah, the hat's a bit weird.
The hat's good, isn't it?
You still look like a decoration, though. It's just one of those naughty ones you get in the pleasure district.
I understand.
You don't know what I'm talking about, do you?
Yes.
I dish up the plates and then with the sausage skillet now removed from the fire, put a kettle over the top and boil some water to make some hot drinks.
Oh, what?
I've got tea or coffee.
Oh, alright.
Stop running this, please.
Well, you know I'll have a cup of tea. Yeah, I love a brew.
And I make some brews.
You sit and enjoy your breakfast, provided for you by your gracious host. And the morning starts to roll on. It's probably around. It's probably coming up to about 9 by the time you finish eating. The two of you who are staying in the Blackthorn, the sunlight and the sound of people moving around downstairs wakes you from your slumber. Both in separate rooms next door to each other. You kind of rouse from your sleep in not the most comfortable night's sleep you ever had. The mattress is a little bit hard, but
I feel better now that the fucking weird creature's strength drain is worn off. Just
oh yeah, anyone who had their strength drained by the
trying to go up to stick to the
Velcro just
by the whatever those summoned creatures were, you do get your strength score back to normal now. So remember that.
There's a day at the city.
But yeah, you do feel a little bit more invigorated after a night's sleep. So
It's after the milk and two.
it's after the tea. It's the tea that did it.
Yeah, spend 20 minutes getting myself together, kind of grooming as best as possible, getting hair in shape,
Coffee,
all
by the
my
way.
straightening up outfit, and then heading downstairs, wait for his meal to also descend.
There is a very basic sort of bowl of porridge gruel provided for people who've stayed the night. It's kind of slopped out and pushed along the bar towards you.
I will pass, thank you.
Alright, suit yourself. He takes it and just starts eating it himself. He's busy himself behind the bar.
There's surely a sausage and a stick vendor somewhere.
Ah, yes.
As I wake up, I take my water flask, have a little wash in the morning. Also, groom and cut all the stray hairs that have come in, and then I perform a little ritual, but nobody's here to see it, so I'm not going to describe it yet.
Okay.
A little waking up ritual,
brush.
but keep that for another time. And then I'm quite quickly up and downstairs as well. Then.
Okay, cool. Again, when you head in, you're kind of offered a bowl of porridge gruel by the barman.
Oh no, I'm cockney. Don't do this to me.
I suppose beggars can't be choosers.
It's serviceable, and there's kind of a little thing of syrup which is kind of there for you to pour on it, like a sugar syrup.
I don't want syrup.
Plain oats.
I just plain oats and water.
Yeah, I believe it.
That's what kind of character this is.
Yeah. For his favourite colour as well, isn't it?
Yes.
Colour of
The
those
colour
oats.
of plain oats.
Will we find out?
The creamiest beige.
But by the time
find
you've
out
all
what's food
finished having your breakfast, it does come to about 9 o'clock in the morning. The city is very much woken up at this point. It's a nicer day than it was the day before, but it is brisk and cold, and you can feel it as the door opens to the tavern. As somebody starts to, people start to come inside, and things start to wake up. That cold chill of air, which comes into the room with it, sort of finds you. Doesn't really bother you, Smith, but
Come along, Mr. Skjolf, we've got places to be.
It's shelf. You always mispronounce
I've
it.
literally only ever seen it written down.
I said it to you when we met.
That was a long time ago.
I swear you only do it to wind me up.
Does it work?
Only a little.
So I will continue to do it.
I'd rather you didn't.
No, thank you. You are a very comely lady, but I appreciate the enterprising attitude, but not in the morning. Also, I am taken.
It's really kind of like, suit yourself. He carries on into the bar.
Regardless, come on. I would like to get a sausage and a steak for breakfast.
You just had. Did you not have any of the gruel?
I'm not eating the gruel. I did not trust the
Are
quality
you
of...
too good for the gruel?
Did you not see the bed?
Yeah, the bed was shit.
Same establishment.
So, I'm guessing those of you who stayed at Sigurd's as well begin to head out and make your way.
Yeah, I'm just
If you're all,
pacing my
if that's
way
where you're all
down.
going, okay, cool. So making your way out onto the streets at just past 9 o'clock in the morning, you head through the city, weaving this way and that around the morning traffic, and eventually finding yourselves at the head of the bridge which leads into the civic ward. Just it's basically a bridge that goes across the river into this kind of like moat that the river forms by splitting around this man-made island in the center. You can see that there is a gate up ahead which is closed. It's a tall raw iron gate, so rather than like a portcullis, it's a opens on sort of both sides kind of gates in the center of this archway which leads into this area, and there are a few of the Haven's Watch on either side manning it. But you do spot each other at the end of this bridge, kind of like across the sea of people, and just
Pretty hard not to
it's
spot
not
him.
hard, to notice
Hello,
Iago.
Blink. Good morning.
Hello.
Did you sleep well?
Yes.
Good. Morning to the rest of you too.
Yeah, no, it was alright.
Morning, Galsvir.
He owns an outhouse.
You own your own outhouse.
No, it's a shared house. I'm not that. I'm doing alright. I'm not.
It was very
not
nice
that
of-
fancy.
Very nice abode, actually. I had a really comfortable night.
I'm glad you did.
Thank you so much.
Perhaps I
Good
will
breakfast
accept
as
your
well.
next invitation, but
Ah.
I did not want to impose
Oh,
on
you
our
stayed.
first night.
You two stayed at the Blackthorn.
Yes.
Ah.
It is not the finest establishment, it is also not the worst.
We've all slept on the bed
Yeah.
before.
I'm gonna start
only
heading
ever do
towards
it
the
once.
courthouse.
Okay. So, with Sigurd leading your group across this bridge, you make your way to the gates, which are open. There are guards stood on either side, kind of just watching the people who go through, but this is a publicly accessible area. The square that lies ahead of you now is paved and flagstoned on the inside of this kind of like this dark Gothic wall on the outside. And as you approach, you can see in the very center there is a fountain. In the center plinth of which is a bronze statue of 3 individuals. Amongst them a tiefling, what looks to be an elf, and what looks to be an armoured
Fucking
human
geezer.
man. And
Fucking black king.
I feel like you would probably all know who these people are. These are Ezra Osiris, Zacchaeus Lioncourt, and Enum Smith, who are the 3 individuals who were credited with being the ones to actually bring down the Emperor himself during the Revolution. And their likenesses now adorn this fountain in the centre of what is now known as Triumvirate Square. The building that overlooks the square was once known as Amar Palace. A tall Gothic building with large arched windows, now known as the Assembly Hall. And this is the meeting place and headquarters of the Elfin Senate that now governs the kingdom. The gates are open. The walls around the outside have been extended outwards in a way that now opens it onto the plaza, rather than it being behind walls itself. And this is the building at which you've been asked to meet.
Oh, that's a nice statue, isn't it? Look at that.
It's a little gaudy.
It's probably the first time a few of you have seen this, because even if you live in the city, you wouldn't. Not too much reason to come here unless there's an event going on.
It'd be nice if it was made of, some. The walls are made of granite. Obsidian would have been really nice, It would look
I guess they
great,
were going for a
obsidian.
more hopeful look. Obsidian might have been a bit too foreboding.
Or a little bit dark.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Sandstone would be nice, but you wouldn't get away with that in this climate.
Nah, for sure.
But it a road?
Maybe they would.
It would, yes.
Seems
As would limestone.
Say again.
Nothing.
Alright.
People need symbols, I suppose. Seems a shame that this exists when half the city is still flattened. So.
I like how they've got the water coming out of the hammer from the big geyser. That's cool.
The hammer is up, and there is like a spike.
I'm so glad you went with that. That's excellent. All right. Well,
okay. As you get a closer look now, this armored man is wielding a large shield on one arm, which is emblazoned with with what looks like a symbol of an anvil. And any of you who are native to Althar who have lived here for any amount of time would know that this is the symbol of Dek, the Forge God. And he is holding aloft that hammer on the wall just there.
That one right there.
That one right there.
Come on, grab it, Robin.
That one right there.
That's the hammer.
You can hit the by with it as well. It's made of foam.
Looks like a slightly enlarged.
Make sure you hit him on the head with it.
Yeah.
No, don't hit him on the head.
But like you can proper hit him.
Don't
It's fine.
do that.
Okay.
Do any of us know
Leroy.
much more other than they were heroes of like and the killing the emperor? Is there much more?
There is a lot of kind of legend and lore and rumor now surrounding these three. What is widely known is that they rose from the dead and were a lot of people believe chosen for a cause to bring down what was this tyrannical empire. That is what people say, whether or not that's true. But they disappeared for 8 years. They were gone, and then suddenly, when all hope was lost, returned, and then led the resistance to victory. Is the story that is told.
Okay.
Biblical, isn't it?
Yes,
when you say it like layman's terms, it's like
came back after 8 years, and like a week and a half later, the empire was dissolved.
yeah, just like oh fuck this.
So there is a lot of huge. It's become larger than life and much larger than it actually was.
All I want to know is there a gift shop with Enum Smith plushies? That's all I want.
Unfortunately, there's not.
Do you reckon there's a gift work in there?
Big hippo man selling Enum plushies.
Selling little
Equivalent be the
keyrings of the hammer.
Brian Kazra fucking
Yeah,
plushies or something would be
the Brian
equivalent.
Kasler plushies.
Do you believe
A fucking stall where you can throw axes and painted
He's just
Brian
like-
Kazler. But
What do you reckon? Do you believe the stories then about those three?
Wow.
Stories are always larger than life.
Yeah, no, it's the rising from the dead bit for me. I think it's a bit weird.
Aye,
It is possible.
That's a bit much, you know. But
Yeah, it is possible, but like the three of them,
Part of the story.
no, that's true.
I suppose, you know.
Why is that guy wearing a top hat? He looks like a dickhead.
Bit of a clown. Like literally, so that is what the story says.
Yeah, for sure. Oh well.
And then the elves that no one really knows anything about.
No, I know. It's
the
got nice hair
fool,
though.
the sage, and the warrior tends to be the.
What is it?
The fool, the sage, and the warrior tends to be the.
Fucking fool. Sam, you want to go outside?
Hey, it's not me who's made it up. It's the people of the. Of
It's the
Althar.
people who have done it. How big is it?
They're about. These statues are each about 8 foot tall.
Whoa.
And
On a
they're
plinth,
on a
yeah.
plinth.
The top head is like
Yeah. You're
Doug
very
Dimmadome.
much looking up at this statue now. It probably equals at about 12, 15 foot, taking the plinth, the rest of the fountain, and the statues themselves into account.
Have the toes been like rubbed clean because people keep rubbing them for luck?
Do you know what?
Oh,
Yeah.
they're gold!
Yeah, they have.
I did that in Prague. There was a dog that was gold.
And it's like gold on his neck,
shiny,
yeah.
like where the bronze has just been rubbed by people over the years. It's not a particularly old-looking statue either. It looks like it's been there for a few years, but not much longer than that.
Have any birds pooped on the top hat?
Probably, but you can't see it. It's too high up, especially for you.
I love how now canonically it's the top hat version of Zach. My bad.
You've done that now. You wasn't even wearing a top
No,
hat.
no, it's like fuck it.
Hey, look, you got to remember that a lot of this information they're getting for this shit is coming from Amata and Enum.
Yeah, I know. So
Yeah.
you would, yeah, that's in my head. I was like, oh, it's not the top hat.
Neither of the other two are there to fight their corner.
You're like, you redeemed yourself, but fuck me, you can have that top hat for the rest of your
This
life.
is how it went. There was some bronze worker who was just like talking to Ian, like, right, okay, and in the assault, the final assault on Ian Palace, what did you look like? What were you wearing? Right, okay. And Zacchaeus, was he Was he wearing the hat? And you're like, yeah, fucking blue.
Also, he's blue.
Nice. That makes me feel warm
Everyone is
inside.
used to stories, but all stories start somewhere, right?
That's great. I like it. Let's have a picture of that.
I'm sure to a degree it's got to be somewhat exaggerated, right? Yeah.
I mean, most stories are.
This is the kind of thing that will become legend in enough time. But
Steve?
for now, it's just a bit of a crazy story.
Statements?
We are waiting for them to do it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, shit. We should probably go and do that.
Well, yeah.
We're at the place we need to be.
That's true.
I think he's going to do his speech, and then we will probably talk to him after.
Okay, cool.
He said the speech would be in the afternoon, and your tribunal's at 10 a.m. sharp.
Can I go up to the door and just
I have misheard.
No, it's alright. At least we don't have to sit around.
You start kind of like running along the square towards the entryway to the assembly hall or the former palace, and as you start like bolting into the gate, you see a guard just like put out a spear in front of you, kind of thing. It's up to you if you want to stop.
Why?
Hold on now. What's
We are
The tavern.
we are here to meet with Judicial Advaris.
His eyes go across and they see you, and he's like, "Oh, yes. Well, it seems you are the folk.
Oh right, I see. Oh, okay, alright.
Okay.
You are a handy identifier.
Yeah,
All right.
that's fair.
Follow on then."
Alright.
And begins to walk towards the entryway to this building. You are led onwards up the steps which precede the outside of this large, rather ominous-looking building.
It's like the most gothic, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. Yeah, it is
we got spies
big,
and flying
It's
buttresses.
got a lot of spires. It's got flying buttresses. It's got
Pleasure domes.
pleasure domes. It's got big arched windows with these kind of like arcs over them.
Yes, it
Gargoyles which look out the sides. It's a very, very impressive building.
Fucking class.
The inside is surprisingly light. The light which spills through these stained glass windows from the square kind of illuminates the interior with this almost kind of like warm glow of these oranges and greens and blues from the stained glass itself. And there are a lot of lanterns and sconces held about, like sort of hung about the place. The floor has been kind of like laid with this kind of white tile, and it like illuminates the inside a great deal. It is nowhere near as opulent as it would have been as a palace. It has been stripped back a little bit more, and it is now very much a civic building. But you are led forwards and through a sort of side corridor, and it's not long before you are stopped outside a large sort of double set of wide doors. They are opened by the two guards who stand either side of them, and what lies ahead of you is a large kind of rectangular room with what look to be tiered pews going up the sides. You step inside and you are led forwards, and there is a raised kind of dais in the centre, and at the far end a wooden semicircular, almost what's the word? Kind of like a semicircular surface. This, as you can tell as you enter, is a courtroom. Very much so. But the pews on the sides are currently unoccupied. There is no jury here or any spectators. It is simply these 6 people. They're kind of busy in themselves, and like you can see people like picking up documents and pieces of parchment, things like that. And as you enter the room, there is a kind of like moment where they kind of like notice that you're coming, and people start taking their seats. It's like they've been expecting you to arrive, and now that you have, proceedings begin to kind of settle down. And there is this air that things are being a little bit rushed, almost. Like there's this kind of like everyone kind of like looks over and hurriedly goes and takes their seats. As you are led up to this dais in the center of the room, there is just about like enough room for you to all stand on it, especially with Iago kind of like taking up the bulk of the room.
Oh god.
And
right.
sitting up at the center. Did I say 6? No, sorry. There were 5
6,
seats.
1 missing.
There are 4 people, 5
I
seats,
see.
1 is missing, not 6. Sorry, that was my bad. Boreas, who you met the night before, is sat in the centre, and there are two seats on the left side of him, one of which is occupied by a woman who looks to be in her kind of like mid-20s. She has kind of short-cut dark hair, which is like swept back from her face. On the other side of her, there is an older man who is a little bit kind of like portly and is sat back in the seat, kind of looking down over the scene. On the other side, one of the seats is occupied by a middle-aged man with long brown hair, which is tied back in a ponytail and sort of like flows down his back. He's got a little bit of a kind of like goatee around one side. And then the seat directly next to Boreas is unoccupied, currently.
Okay.
Boreas kind of looks over towards you and smiles and nods his head and just indicates for you to take a seat on the seats that have been arranged on this dais for you.
Good morning.
Good morning, good morning. I trust you all had a pleasant night. Let's try and get this done as quickly as we can. And he kind of looks up at the sun that's spilling through from one of the stained glass windows. Yes, I've got a lot to do today. So, yes, anyway, we are here today to gather statements from witnesses to a crime which took place at the, and he looks at a piece of parchment, outer city, Dawn's Rest Tavern, which I believe to be one in a series of attacks which have taken place through Havensreach over the past several weeks. These are our, I believe, only living witnesses to the events.
God rest their souls.
A few more people made it out of the tavern.
But weren't present for everything that transpired inside, am I correct in assuming?
I'm unsure.
As you were the last ones who stumbled out.
Yeah, not really
That's-
sure.
yeah.
It's a bit smoky.
We have already spoken to the tavern keeper, Roderick, I believe,
Oh,
who
bless him.
made himself scarce quite early on into the proceedings and had very little for us, if I'm honest. But anyway, enough of that. Let's get this over with as quickly as we can. Could I take each of your names, please, for the record? And the sort of portly man at the end kind of like sits up and grabs a quill and starts like, he's obviously supposed to be taking minutes and only just realised that he should have been. But he gestures.
Oh, Yargo.
Your full name?
It's just Yargo.
Very well. Just Iago.
No. First name's not just. It's, oh, never mind. Right.
I understand.
No.
Thank you. Yes, you, please.
Sigurd Stronghammer.
There's a kind of like moment of recognition at the name.
Yeah.
The same?
Yeah, same.
The very same.
Very well. Yourself?
Elsevier von Fanes II.
We've got another of these single name situations. Do you have a last name? Any other monikers?
No.
Is that your real name?
I'm pretty sure, yes. Blink. That's what I've always been called.
Very well. Write it down.
Ismir Shelver.
Bless you.
the portly man at the end like looks up. How do you spell that?
Which one? Ismir or Shelver?
Yes.
ISN.
You spell it out for him.
Yeah.
Don't get this
It's Rowson.
I see. You are not a citizen of Althar then?
No, but I've been living here 10 years.
Who do you represent? These your robes. You're a holy man?
Yeah. I represent the new Temple of Oscura in Miterholm.
I see.
The story.
Well,
If you need any, you can contact the landlord.
very well. No. Your testimony will be most helpful.
Ah, great.
Thank you. Does anyone else here speak for any organizations or guilds of which I should make note?
I don't
No.
believe so.
Nope.
Do private businesses count?
No. More wide-reaching.
There's a no.
Very well.
Of course not.
Okay, we shall now begin taking witness statements. Whoever would like to speak first, may I... Any volunteers?
Happy to do the talking.
Okay, we have chairman for the group, as it were. Sigurd Stronghammer, please take the stand. You kind of like step up to the front of the dais.
I'm just like... So...
is Kenan still away? And turns to the dark-haired girl who sat next to him. She looks and says, yes, and will be for some time. And yeah, very well, very well. Anyway,
hear that?
continue.
Do I hear that conversation?
Make a perception check.
Ooh, 12.
Yes.
Not horrendous.
You just about pick up the murmurs, yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's a very quiet room.
Anyone... I hate to earwig like that. Did one of you just mention my brother at all?
And the woman kind of leans forward and says, yes, I believe he is in Mighterholm at the moment.
Oh, he's gone home. Oh, right. Oh, great. I must pay him a visit. I've not seen him in a very long time.
Very well.
Anyway, that's besides the point. Right, so I'll begin. So myself and Blink over here, we were working on the restoration of the tavern course. It's got a bit of a fraught history with being destroyed and rebuilt and destroyed and rebuilt, so no change there, I suppose. I'm a stonemason by trade, a sculptor, but stonemason 9 to 5. I've been working on the tavern for a couple of weeks. Blink had been working for a few days. You started working with us a couple of days ago, didn't you, Blink? Yeah, we were simply letting off a bit of steam after our hard day's work. Just playing some dice. I believe Belzefir and Izmir here were sitting on a table nearby, just enjoying a drink. We weren't acquainted at this point, and Iago, pretty difficult fella to miss, was sitting at the bar, also just enjoying a drink to himself. And suddenly, this bloke comes in. I don't pay much attention to him, and he goes and sits next to Iago at the bar.
Halt. So you were in close quarters to this individual.
Oh yeah, I'd say so. Yeah.
Did you converse at all?
Oh, briefly, not for very long.
Anything of note that you can recall from the conversation would be most helpful, if you could give us that.
Just that he enjoys the attention, should we say.
Do you believe that he entered this establishment with the intent to cause harm? From your brief conversation.
Oh, quite hard to tell, to be honest. I mean, he tried to increase the temperature. It was a bit cold in there, in fairness, but obviously did it. I mean, he's clearly very in control of his power. So yeah, do you know what? Actually, fuck it. Yeah, go on. He was.
I would agree.
And you would all confirm that assessment of the situation.
The signage was quite clear that they were not welcoming of those of the magical persuasion, and
you believe that he intentionally overstepped that boundary with the intent to bring about
the fire was dwindling.
Eventuality.
The fire was dwindling. He used his arcana to rekindle it, and then when one of the patrons complained, he made his drink taste foul.
And Boreas kind of leans back and nods his head to the woman who sat next to him, and she nods and like starts jotting something.
Garrick, the fella that took umbrage with this individual's use of magic, a bit of a
dickhead.
Quick to anger,
yeah.
Shall we say? I've been working with him for a couple of weeks.
All right,
you know.
Didn't like losing, did he?
Wasn't no. But sorry, he approached after this mishap with the drink. That seemed to be enough for Garrick, who he stormed over to the man with the intent of, putting him in his place. Told him to leave, and then the man, there was a lantern above where Garrick stood.
Yeah, he set him on fire.
And he was not a nice character.
Take a step back there a moment. The lantern,
From what I observed, he conjured a bolt of energy that caused the lantern to fall on his head.
You believe this was done with the intention of this Garrick fellow being set alight, not simply to...
The fact that he followed up by then conjuring a ball of fire that consumed half the room seems to indicate that.
He tried to kill by...
Nods his head at the other people. And
Blink here was caught in the radius of the blast.
Really, you
I
were
was just trying to play dice, and then I almost was in the fire.
okay.
Take
well,
note of the singed ends of his hair.
No, you were in the fire.
It's,
It was almost. You were in the fire.
Yeah,
It seemed like it was a
Took
bit
the
of rough
fire
and
bomb.
tumble to start with. You know, you made his drink taste like piss. It was all a bit funny. You know, we were all having a bit of laugh inside. And then, yeah, he set him on fire. It was a bit of a 0 to 100 situation. I'm not gonna lie.
And would you, and as he says those words, there is a as the doors behind you begin to swing open once more. And
So what?
There he is!
you turn over your shoulder and look, and the doors have been pushed open by an individual who is now stepping into the room. She is human, seems to be in her early 40s, approximately, and she enters the room with this kind of like quiet, commanding presence. She has red hair, which is kind of short, practical sort of style, which is framing a face marked with faint freckles dotted across the top of her nose and like her cheeks. She lends this kind of like focused expression across the room, and she, from the outfit that she's wearing, just seems to radiate authority. She's wearing the formal attire,
Authority.
very finely tailored
Authority.
clothing in a deep plum purple colour with gold accents, these kind of like tall kind of gold pauldrons on either side. And she pushes open the doors and stands into the room and casts an eye across the space. Judicia, you moved the time of this tribunal without consulting me?
Oh.
And Barias kind of leans back in his chair. Senator Vorrigan. Apologies that we didn't manage to get the message to you, but and she just puts her hand up and starts walking across the room towards the steps which lead into this raised platform which overlooks the area. She makes her way across and casts an eye across the group of you as she does, and her eyes meet yours, Bazafir, and there's like a moment of kind of like, and she stops. Bazafir.
Senator?
And there's like a moment where she kind of like looks up, and there's this kind of like shit expression on her face as Bryce leans back in the chair. You are acquainted? Looks towards you.
We met a few times, a decade or so ago. But the Senator has been quite busy since then.
And Bryce leans forward and says, "Then you must know, Senator, that it would be unlawful for you to be present at this tribunal." And she looks up at you and looks at Barias. "Quite so. Very well." And she turns and starts to make her way out of the room. Stops for a second and like observes the hall, and then pulls the door closed and out on the other side. Well, apologies for the interruption. Can we continue with the statement, please? Quickly.
I just want it on the record that amongst our company here are a number of sorcerers, spellcasters alike. We don't want to get it twisted that this is some sort of condemnation of sorcerers in public spaces. What this man did was wrong and evil, but I think that coming from fellow spellcasters and mages changes the messaging a little somewhat.
There are people who left that tavern alive only because of the help of my allies here.
I would ask the same of you to not, as you put it, get this situation twisted. To provide you with some context, I believe this to be one in a series of attacks that have been carried out from a similar group wearing robes of a similar description to the one that you were provided, each individual seeming to be acting as part of a greater cause. What that cause is, I do not know, but theories are now amongst the judiciaries that this cult, for lack of a better word, is intending to upheave what we have built. To be granted a crumb of freedom only to spit it back in the faces of the people who have given it to them, that is a crime which is worth condemning.
Of course it is.
So please, do not get me wrong, I am an advocate for sorcery being practiced in public, safely. However, what is going on here is cause for concern.
Yeah, and that should be echoed.
I'd like to insight check and just make sure he's being honest about that.
Go ahead.
And I feel like that should be echoed from... It's coming from a group of spellcasters.
It's a
Nods his head. Duly noted.
14.
14. He is a little bit difficult to read, but you believe the words that he just said. What you do get from him, this guy is a career politician.
Yeah.
Like he's probably got a law background, you know, and yeah, he's somebody who's probably quite used to public speaking and maybe not so much dodging truths as
He's well versed, he knows how to speak
Yes.
like a politician.
Slaloming around them.
Like he may not even like technically ever lie by the way he words things.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's the read you
Bullshit.
get because you roll quite well there.
Hey, he speaks the bullshit.
Bullshit.
A 50-year dictatorship does not so easily die.
Precisely. You can take down an emperor, but change takes time.
It's the hearts and minds of the people are not so easily swayed.
Correct.
Yeah, they said in a sorry state to seize this country.
Very well. Well, I think we have all that we need, unless there's anything else.
Was able to summon some kind of ghostly spirits, and then we left the inn and we did not see him again. So it's not too out of the realm of possibilities that he can magically transport himself. It's possible, probable that is what he did.
I saw the
That
ghost
very well.
sort of did something to
we were just
you.
in the wrong place at the right time. He seemed taken aback by our capability to defend ourselves. I think he was expecting a simple slaughter.
Well, I do commend you and thank you for your efforts. I do fear that without your presence there, things may have been a lot worse than they eventually were.
I think that is undoubtable.
Very well. Unless there are any further comments, he kind of takes a second and...
May I ask all of your names? I'm not too familiar with the people I'm talking to.
Of course, you know myself, Judicia Barias.
Of course.
Let me, if I can get my notes, hold on.
Sorry, if you don't have it, then that's fine.
That's cool. So my hero, Legend Keeper.
What's your full name?
What's your date of birth, please?
What's your
No, he asked me, I'm asking him.
Where do you
what's your
live?
government security number?
What is the license
He's
plate
one of the
your
first
car?
people to be in like the new government with probably like 3 or something. We're implementing a new identification system. And you're in at the front door. Your social security number is...
There you go.
Couldn't get one though, could he?
No, that's
Very
not what
well.
it is.
To my right here, you have Judicia Elena. He gives you the last names, but that's all.
Weird that all their first
Judicia
names are
Tarmond,
Judicia.
and he gestures towards the guy with the brown, long hair, which is his ponytail down the back.
Is that Tormund?
Tarmond.
Tarmond.
Tarmund.
So,
I think it's funny if I try to guess the spelling.
And Judicia Kraylin.
Is that with a K or with a C?
With a K.
Are you only allowed to get this job if your first name is Judicia?
That is a title.
Yes. Like a name.
That is not their first names, Blink.
Hey, what's your first
That
name?
is the job.
It is a title.
Oh.
They work as judiciaries.
Yeah, first name?
Oh.
That is not your
Well,
concern.
there we go. You made a
I'm
fuss
here
of
in
this- you made
you're in
a
an
fuss of
official
this,
position. I need to take names for the record. Anyway, this tribunal is over. Thank you. And
No, I
bangs
got
a
one more question.
gavel.
I got one more question.
Never mind.
What's
never
your favourite
mind.
colour?
No, I've actually got a real question.
Very well. Let's hear it.
What are you doing to find this guy?
I can assure you, the Havens Watch are sweeping the streets as we speak. There are dark places where people like this are able to hide. If you are offering to lend your support, then that is an offer I would gladly accept. My forces are stretched thin as it is, and the rest of the judiciaries are kind of like going and like packing up papers now as the court has officially ended.
I guess I guess it's not important enough.
And he kind of looks around and comes and heads down the back of the platform towards you.
My eyes light up with the idea of help.
He comes over and says, "Does it interest you?"
He got a few cheap shots. Wouldn't mind handing his ass to him.
Very well.
Alright.
But I also
think
know
I
that-
agree.
Yeah, I was about to say, I also know not to follow vengeance as a kind of character trait, to be honest. So, but that being said, if you've got a lead, wouldn't be against following it. I don't know about you.
We're still looking into it,
Alright.
but there is something to precede that. If you would like to offer your support in the matter at all, or in the interests of the city, I do have something that may be of interest to you
Alright, go on.
while we continue to investigate this. The areas of the city that were slightly more badly damaged during the battle, those areas are at the moment uninhabitable. And the reason for that being where the damage went through the streets down into the catacombs. Various entrances have been opened up, and all manner of things have spilled forth. We are trying to reclaim those sections of the city for restoration efforts.
Alright, what kind of things are we talking about spilling forth?
For the most part, things that should no longer be wandering,
Right.
if you know what I mean.
Well, I got a rough idea from what
Better
you're
if
saying.
you spoke plainly.
Undead,
So you got- it's not
from
so
the
much.
catacombs.
Yeah.
These areas of the city have been largely cordoned off and warded against. There's a guard presence on the outside. However, it is known to be rather dangerous on the inside, and before restoration efforts can begin, there are certain threats that need to be eliminated.
Start flicking through like a little tiny green bush. Just
Or we could possibly leave it to the guard.
you could leave it to the guard, yeah.
Well,
but
there's
They're the
that.
ones who are paid to protect the city.
That's a very good point. Would there be a little bit of, a little bit of moolah?
Of course.
Yes,
I would
yes, it
see
is.
to it that you were rewarded for your efforts if all you were able to do is clear out some of those areas. That would be something.
I mean,
I don't have to be in Kildrum until a week now. And Izmir is.
Don't make me do it, Belzefir.
You're not. You can do what you want. You're a
No,
big
I
boy.
have to come with you. You are my lift, which means if you,
You
go
can
down...
get another carriage if you want, but
No, they're not.
she has
surely-
explicitly mentioned
They
that
are not as reliable. as
surely
you.
as a man of God, you'd be quite excited to be, zapping some undead.
I wouldn't have brought this particular matter to you if not for your presence. It must be said,
I mean, surely you have better clerics in your temples.
if you were able to perhaps bless the ground afterwards, that may help to deter any such presence in the future.
That's not how it works, but I get what.
Come on, mate. It's been
Well,
fun.
maybe instead of
Let's do it.
collapsing the ground, you can
You can collapse the tunnels that these undead are coming from.
And of course, you would be paid for your efforts.
Well, I mean, look, I'll speak for myself and probably for you too, Blink.
Yep.
We're out of work right now.
Yep, I want to help.
And you are a valuable business connection.
Thank you.
Not you, Blink. I do not know who you are.
Oh.
But if perhaps greater consideration to the Von Feng caravan family could be considered. I am not in any need for monetary reward, but easier passage would be appreciated.
Oh, I'll have his.
That I can do.
Good.
Okay, well,
As I said, I've
It's
got
settled.
a little over a week to do
Yeah.
this. So
Let's do it.
Alright,
Good time?
yeah, we're good. We're going to give it a go. Yes. How much?
I could offer 15 gold
Yes.
apiece as a reward.
15.
I agree.
What? No,
Yes.
No, shh.
You are not negotiating at all.
It's Penny. The grown-ups are too.
It seems
alright.
Blink here has
Okay.
accepted that offer. If the rest of you are
No. Shush.
happy to
Ignore
oblige,
Blink.
then
Blink would do it for free.
You
No, he won't.
No.
No, he won't. Though he won't. Hey, eyes on me. Eyes on me. All right, we talk. All right. All right. Blink's a little bit too keen.
Blink just wants to help.
I'm sure you are aware of the Oscuran faith, where you have to sacrifice some stuff and things die for the spring to begin. So, to allow us to fix this problem, you have to make a bit of a sacrifice.
that would be
A little bit more than 15
Yeah.
gold.
20 then.
50.
Don't push your luck.
50 is what I said.
Very well. I'll find someone else for the job. Thank you.
Perhaps we can
come
agree on
on.
22 gold.
Make a persuasion check. You can assist with that.
He says he comes with a highball in 50.
Yeah, you got a highball on right 14.
18.
I'd say between you, yeah. He nods his head and says, I'm sure that we can scrape 22 gold each.
Fantastic.
And one
Look
more
around the
condition.
palace like, nah, I'm pretty sure he could, yeah.
One more condition. I'm not trying to be pushy, but one more condition. No questions asked. Anything we find, we keep.
Anything you find, technically be property of the city,
All right. Cool. Well.
but I'm not the treasurer.
Okay. All right. I like this guy. You're growing on me. You're growing on me.
It's because the pay would not be coming from his pocket.
Alright,
Show him your crab.
What?
Your crab.
Oh. Hey, this is crack.
There's indeed.
Charming.
It is.
don't worry, he doesn't need to be paid.
Yeah. No. He's actually.
Take you up on your gracious offer, and I suppose we've got some zombie busting to do, right?
Sounds good.
Yeah.
He's
Very
pretty
well.
happy about it.
And please, stay to hear my address in the square. I know you have your concerns, but I think you will like what I have to say.
Is that not in the afternoon?
Correct.
You employ us for a job, and you want us to wait around for 3 to 4 hours before going to it?
For a talk.
If you are in that much of a hurry too.
It's
You seem very eager, so
No, it's not so much of a rush thing. I'm just not a big fan of public speaking. I gotta be honest.
Well, I was just going to say we can have a sit
The plan
down,
of action, but
Is it
figure out a
something-
plan of action.
if
Yeah,
we
that's
can
fair
go
enough.
and complete this job on the day it is given to us, that is always good.
Yeah, that is also pretty good.
We'll make it back for a speech.
Also, do it within the next couple of hours.
Why not? If you're in the city,
Oh no, I respect it. All right, I like a challenge.
I believe this is where the cataclysm happened, so the areas in which he's mentioning cannot be too far away.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna follow your lead on this. Let's do it.
Are we gonna need something to let us in? To let us know if there are guards or anything?
A rite of passage, perhaps.
it is
Yeah.
completely up to you. If you would like to take today to do this, it's absolutely fine.
So the politicians speak for you want us to wait around and not do it today.
You can do whatever you like.
All right, excellent. Let's
Jason,
go do it.
it doesn't matter whether I stay. I'm not voting.
Very well.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. Yeah, I don't live here, so
the same.
Right, well, we'll head off now and we'll try and make it back in time for your speech.
Very well. If you make it back, then excellent. If not, then not the end of the world. I'm sure there will be plenty of people there. So, anyway,
he's just garnering for numbers at his little speech.
Heads off and kind of makes his way out of the room. The guards kind of pull the doors open for him.
Oh, I really don't like him, boys. I'm not gonna lie.
A guard comes up to the dais and he's like, "Come on,"
He is a politician.
and starts to usher you out of the room.
He's a knob.
And eventually,
I'm
you
trying
are.
to keep my eyes out to see if the Senator Vorgan is still around.
Okay, make a perception check.
16.
As you head back out into the main hall, you can see that she is a little way away at the bottom of the steps, currently in conversation with somebody. And as you make your way out, as soon as the doors open, her eyes go over, and as you're looking out for her, you make eye contact with her as you go past, and she kind of watches you as you go towards the door.
You all continue. I am going to admire the architecture for but a moment.
All right.
I'm going to speak to the senator.
Oh, fair enough. All right.
Something is awry.
We'll be outside.
Yeah, let's go and sit by the fountain. I actually quite like looking at it.
It will not take long. She is a busy woman. I will go look at a bust that is just to the side of the entrance.
What languages do we all speak, just out of interest? It'd be good to have a slightly less common language to discuss in our prying ears.
Why do you speak Draconic?
The Draconic's a little rusty.
Oh, fair enough.
Dwarvish?
Yeah.
Elvish?
My grasp of Dwarvish is rather good, and my Elvish is excellent.
Dwarvish is good for me too.
It's the best language.
Halfling.
It's rough on the throat.
Yeah, no piss and shit.
It's kind of a subset. It's kind of a subset of Rossin. Where was that come from again?
You're alright.
I say in Dwarvish then, just sort of under my breath for those who understand. Something strange about that Judiciary.
I reply in Dwarvish in kind. Yes, well, I'm going to see if the Senate has anything to say on that.
You kind of head back down the steps and mingle around, while Balzavir, you wait around in the foyer of the assembly hall.
I appreciate the art.
And stand there looking at the bust. And after a few minutes pass, you hear a voice from behind you. Says, Balzavir von Fane.
Senator Vorgan.
You turn around and she stands in front of you, kind of a little bit of a smile on her face.
Give her a little overly theatrical bow.
She kind of puts her hands up and is like, please, please. What brings you to the capital?
My business. Transport.
And she nods her head towards the door that you just came from.
We were in the tavern where it all went down last night.
I see.
An unfortunate case of the right people in the wrong place.
It happens.
Sometimes for good, sometimes for ill.
Well, I hope that he didn't grill you too hard.
No, he seemed more intent on getting us out of there as soon as possible so he can prepare for his little speech.
Yes, sounds about right.
That one has a hunger.
Yes, you could say that. Sweet on the outside, but there's something about him that I just don't like.
He is a politician.
So am I.
Yeah, but like you're one of the cooler ones. I don't recall seeing him at the siege.
Yes, well, as a matter of fact, and then you hear from just down the hall, Senator! And Barias stands a little bit further away. Can I speak with you a moment? And kind of like heads towards the two of you. She looks at him and looks back at you and says, Of course, Judiciary. I was just saying goodbye to my friend here. Thank you, Balzavir.
Your pleasure as always.
And she kind of makes her way in that direction, and he stands like looking at you for a second and just heads off after
White
her.
faced. Rejoin the rest of everyone outside.
Okay. Belzevere approaches your group back in the square. And as they stand once again admiring the fountain, apparently.
Why does the water change colour every couple of minutes? That's beautiful.
I feel like you're just making up stuff now.
Or maybe your eyes don't see the colours mine
It's
do.
just oil.
No, you're just standing at a different angle. If you walk over here, it changes colour again.
What?
Well, with the
Come over
refraction
here,
of
and it
the
changes
light.
colour again.
Oh my god, it's the sun.
Yes.
Ah, Belzevere.
Hello.
Yes. A
See, it's
conversation cut short by Barais himself.
We could just kill him.
No, we could not.
What? No.
I said joke, it's just a little joke between
You do
friends.
not say that's right outside the government.
Oh,
Don't
I'm
say
joking.
that.
Oh, come on, it's just a bit of...
Yeah, but there is a history of politicians being murdered on this rock.
Not fair enough.
Because they take it very seriously.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Alright, so I'm not going to kill him, don't worry.
Well,
How would I get away with it? I wouldn't. Look at me, I'm 6'8".
I feel you are very capable of doing so, but getting away with it, yes, that is a
No,
good
I
start.
wouldn't do it, honestly. It's not in
You
my
are
nature.
literally double my height.
Fucking insight check on that. Fucking. It's not in my nature.
What am I...
And I have all some shit. There's a fucking 10.
I'm not going to tell you what I'm rolling.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
So definitely deeper machinations at play here.
You think I'm telling the truth?
Yeah, cool.
Fully?
Okay.
Something is shady. I cannot tell if it is Barais wanting to boost his own standing or if something it is
well,
deeper, but alas,
I was watching him,
it's not my business
Carefully.
of mine.
and I would quite like to be back here in time for his speech,
Alright.
because I'm interested in what he might have to say.
Well, we're not going to get this done in like 4 hours, are we? But my worry is that we'll go there and then we'll end up like caught up in the catacombs and...
Well, let us not descend underground.
Alright.
He
That-
said that
no,
these
that
things
I-
are surfacing and coming up.
That I agree with.
We could leave a trail behind us too.
That's also true, yeah.
Could,
Follow
but
it back.
Navigating the city is easy enough.
I think
You can see the palace, the assembly building from wherever you are in the city for the most part.
Alright, well, let's go scope it then. Let's do it.
Make tracks.
Alright.
let's.
Okay. So heading out of the civic ward, but this time heading and taking the south bridge, which exits off the other side under the scaffolding and under the section of the wall which is currently being reconstructed. You begin to head south through the city, and anyone who's been in the city before, figured you would know where these devastation points were. And one of the most notable of which, apart from the one which actually hit the section of the city which you have just left, the restoration of which has been a lot quicker than anywhere else. One of the most notable ones is down south at the sort of bottom of the river near the south wall. So it's probably about an hour on foot to get there. So you begin the trek, winding through the streets even. And as you get further and further south, the scene around the city becomes more and more impoverished. It seems the further along the river you go, the dirtier and grimier things are. And eventually, you come upon streets which seem to have had a lot of damage sustained to them. The cobbles are cracked, and there are buildings which seem to have fallen and burned that have not yet been restored. And at the end of one of such streets is a point that you would know. It seems to end in a large wooden sort of palisade wall that has been erected around what looks to be a large sort of circular section of the city. It has been reinforced with beams and sort of planks of wood that have been propped up against it as a kind of big makeshift barricade. Seems to be locking off a particular section of the city. You do see a couple of guards that are patrolling around the outside of it, and there seems to be a gate which leads in, which is locked and closed, and a guard is currently standing outside of.
Now,
Realistically speaking, I imagine we are not likely to find any hint of this person that caused us duress.
Unlikely.
I think the Judicia just wants to have the clout of sending people to do some job, and then if we make it back for his speech, he can point us out and say, hey, these people are doing things. But even if all we do is go in there, put down a couple of the dead, and return, it is an easy enough job.
Alright. It's also
On paper.
It's also just a bit of fun, isn't it?
Keep the skills sharp. If you do not use them, you lose them.
I like that.
That's true.
I do enjoy that.
I can help a little bit with the undead. If many of them come for us, I can keep a lot of them at bay. If you see any running, prioritize them last. Because my incantation will keep them away until you hurt them.
Alright, sounds good.
So try to, if you see them running, and you see some that don't, focus the ones who aren't running.
Alright, I hear you.
Understood.
Nice.
I told you he is useless.
I'd rather not
He's
die.
useless in a social situation, but you put him as a man of action and he comes alive.
Listen,
No, I
I'm not
respect
one for talking about myself, but we're on a job, so
Alright,
I have
get
to
it.
say some things.
I get it, you're nice if there's a bit of this involved.
No, I just don't want to die.
Alright, are we gonna go through this gate then? Do you want to do the talking? I don't think any of us should do it. One of you two are good at talking.
You
Yeah, sure.
guys seem to be very good at speaking.
Yeah. I feel like I'll get us in trouble.
If you wish to join me, Sigurd, I will do my best to get us through this gate and into the undead infested hellhole.
I mean,
Yeah, I think we're fairly conversational guys, I'm sure.
you'd hope a message had been sent right by this point that we're coming.
You would think that, but
Perhaps.
no, it will not have happened.
Okay, alright.
You could have given us even the smallest slip of paper, but no.
No. Much rather a struggle to do a job as well. It's not even like we're trying to get, you know,
Let us just talk to this man.
No, I don't know.
May yet be reasonable.
sausage on a stick or something.
I think
No.
Okay.
Sigurd
Hey, listen,
and I are
if it
going to
always
approach
did-
the guard on the gate.
Always the plan, sausages on a sticker on me, okay?
No way.
Oh, I had one for breakfast this morning,
alright.
but I appreciate the offer.
It's
I'm not
11:30
up to-
now.
Mhm.
What time does everyone want to go till?
I'm staying here, so I'm not
I'm gonna have to finish up soon, so I gotta get up early to take Dex over to us.
Okay. I would probably say then, as you approach the guard on the gates,
You ruined everything.
Well, thanks, Rob.
Yeah. Go on, everyone. Yeah.
Robert!
Yeah, Belzer
Ratbold.
and I both. She goes.
okay, the guard kind of like is leaning back. This is clearly a fairly boring duty, guarding a big wooden wall, and this guard, like clutching his spear, is just kind of leaning against it, and he kind of looks at you as you approach. Says, "You alright?"
Ah, hello.
Good morning.
Morning. Yeah. We've been sent down here by Judicia Advaris to have a little poke around with the zombie problem.
Have you now?
Yeah. Yes, we have. Yeah. Do you mind if we head in through and take a look?
What? Oh, yeah.
Great.
I'm not here to keep you out. And he
Fair enough.
kind of leans forward and opens this big like dead lock, which is on this gate.
You tongue of silver.
Opens it for you.
I suppose sometimes you just have to take the wins as they come.
Exactly.
That was quite flirtatious of him, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well.
As long as you let us back out when we come back up.
Oh yeah, can we come back out?
You pound on the gate. If you're alone, I'll open it up.
Well,
for you.
we'll obviously we'll be alone.
Okay, when we get to the gate, we'll hear. How's that?
One more time. Yeah, alright. Well, go on then. I can't keep this thing open much longer.
All right.
Okay.
Come on through.
The fun
Head in.
part is I've got to remember that for next time.
Yeah, otherwise he will not let us out.
You step in, and the guard freaks this door closed behind you. And that's what we'll pick it up next time.